Oh my god.
The cords are caught on his rainbow Crocs, and he's very frustrated.
Look at us, problem solving.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can hear you.
Why are you talking like that?
She ready. What
Oh,
you mean? I'm ready to pod. I've been waiting to pod all day.
Yeah.
Literally
Love
all
that.
day. And I've been ready. Oh my
Oh, man.
god. Oh wow, look at me. Which are we good? Let me know. I think we need a sign to let me know she's ready. What up?
Let's do
Wham,
like
bam,
a cheers
doo-doo.
or something.
Wham bam ba doo doo.
yeah, for real.
Like Greece.
Grease. Yeah,
Yeah, let's do a cheers. What do you want to cheers to? I'm gonna let you lead it.
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't mean like a whole speech. I just meant cheers.
Cheers, guys.
And everyone chugs.
Cheers. What?
Cheers.
What?
Chugs.
Girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
This thing is
I
strong.
did not test
I got
try this,
Yeah,
but I purposely used less pineapple juice than gin.
I know.
Enjoy.
He said that you only put in the pineapple juice for color.
Exactly. Correct.
I adjusted mine.
That was the weakest
Hey!
chug ever, both of you.
It's straight up gin, so
Yeah.
keep it slow. You're drinking beer.
Yeah, who does
You,
it?
Vicky.
On a plaid shirt.
She's in a plaid sweatshirt. She is drinking beer and telling us to chug.
And her
You are a frat boy.
shirt looks like it's been through the
It
You're
has.
on the verge of being a fuck boy.
through some times.
Yeah, there's.
You wearing
stains
white
on it.
pants?
No.
No white
Do
pants.
I have fuckboy energy though?
Nah. You just really look like one.
The other day,
Fuck boy in disguise because you got makeup on.
what did you call me? A fashion hobo?
Yeah, because what were you? I think you were wearing the same sweatshirt, which is my grandfather's sweatshirt. So I love it. I love the sweatshirt.
I
But
have one of those. See, you
this
guys
jacket.
you make fun of how I dress, but I have a lot of stuff that your grandfather
No,
had.
this jacket is very sentimental to me. When I was growing up, my dad had one just like this, and I wanted one so bad, and I got it. And then I think that's why my Lolo had one, because my dad and I really liked it. And then when he passed, I wanted the jacket, and I wear it pretty often.
anyway, so it is a sentimental sweater, but she was wearing
Yeah.
that. She was wearing a beanie that was like really far off her head,
I was wearing my flowers beanie.
and
Nice.
she just looked like a fashion hobo because her makeup was done. Face looked cute.
You guys, this is my preferred way to look. When Richard was like, yeah, let's do the pod and let's do it on camera, and I was like, okay. And then I'm thinking about what I'd wear. He's like, yeah, you could just do it in your sweats. I was like, fuck yeah, because that's totally our brand.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how to dress. If anyone asks me on a date, I don't know what to wear.
Oh yeah.
I would wear sweats. But that's kind of the look these days.
Now when I wear jeans, I think back to when you said that you're canceling jeans, and I'm like, oh man, she's gonna judge me for wearing jeans.
No.
Don't they feel weird? I put on
They
some
feel-
I
jeans.
love wearing jeans. I buy soft jeans,
Oh, okay.
stretchy jeans. So I
You wore jeans? I haven't seen you wear jeans in years.
I put on some not too long ago.
Just to make sure they fit?
Are they skinny jeans or like what's the leg like?
Always tapered.
Tapered. Okay, I like it.
Always.
What is the wash?
Various. I have pretty much every wash there is.
Interesting.
Levi's is the brand. That's my brand.
I wore jeans last week when we went to dinner. And I will wear jeans every once in a while just to make sure they still fit. Because last February I did a second round of Whole30 and I lost so much weight. And I bought these cute jeans maybe in the summertime and they never fit. And so once I finished my second round of Whole30, they fit. So they're my Whole30 jeans. So I make sure I put those on every once in a while. Just make sure they fit. And they did. A little tight, but they fit. They zipped. Or they're buttons. So it's like you can't even fake. You know, with the zipper, you can sometimes fake it. Buttons, when they button all the way up.
A zipper won't move even if you want it to. If it don't fit.
I can fake. If my jeans don't fit and they're zippers, I can fake it a little bit.
You just leave it down?
Yeah, and like tuck the sides in and just
Get the rubber band.
Wear a sweatshirt.
You extend it a little bit.
Yeah.
Nothing about that.
But if they're buttons and you have to button them the whole way up, there ain't no faking that, boo.
I would fake it with buttons just the same way I would do it.
Oh my god, no, that seems more painful to me.
Interesting. Okay.
But no,
well, speaking of fitting into
I'm not gonna judge you for wearing jeans.
your jeans, I know. I'm just like more like, oh, she's gonna look at my jeans and be like, "Are you wearing jeans?"
Wait, before you get into this, let me introduce the show.
Okay, fine.
Let me do it. All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Short But Not So Sweet. All right, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me and Cristina and Richard, and we're forever grateful for that. With me, I have my woes, my nearest, and my dearest. I got my producer, the right brain of this project, the pain in my ass, Richard!
Hello.
Ooh, Richard, say what's up. There he goes. I also have my mini muggin of a sister, who's also hilarious, Cristina. Cristina, say what's up. Oh, it's not mini muggin, it's ninny muggin.
I know.
Mini muggin.
Get it right. I know. I thought Mini Muggin was like a cute pet name.
That was cute.
It's better.
I am your left brain and unapologetic host, Vix. As always, only here to offer perspective. Take it or leave it, but we said what we said. All right. I hate when shows go on and then no one introduces it. Because I want to make sure y'all know that we know you're here and we're glad you're here. So let me invite you in the conversation. You were going to say something about jeans.
Are you okay? Yeah. He looks okay. I thought you fixed your drink.
Yeah, I did it. Oh my god.
He's struggling, y'all.
Yo, why are you trying to get me drunk all the time?
Are you okay?
I love when people are drunk.
You need to chill. That is brutal.
Jeez.
We're just trying to play.
I know.
You came over here wanting to play, and you said, "What are we drinking? I'm ready."
No, but
He's a big talker.
He really is. He's being a big ass baby right now. Jesus. All right.
she put
Anyways,
a teaspoon of pineapple juice
For color.
and a half a gallon of gin.
I put 4 shots of gin and 3 shots of pineapple.
It's the Paula special.
Yes, exactly.
That's Paula. Paula.
It's a Paula special.
I haven't met Paula.
Yes, you have.
A long time ago. Very briefly.
I've met her sister.
Yes. No, you haven't.
that's
You
what I'm
haven't
thinking of.
met Paula. I don't know.
I think you might have.
Maybe. One birthday party.
I don't know. But
Well, your drink sucks, Paula.
No, the act of putting too much alcohol is the Paula special.
Oh, okay.
The drink is whatever.
Sorry. I won't interrupt you anymore. Sorry about that. Camera, stop recording. Oh,
Jeans. We were talking about jeans.
Oh, I thought you said, "K, I'm gonna stop recording," and I'm like, "Geez, he's going really far with this joke." No, but speaking of jeans and fitting into your jeans, how is your competition going? For those of us just tuning
Are you in it or no?
Richard and Vicky, and apparently not me, because I hear them conniving in Vicky's room. She's not going to be a part of this. Like, no, she is going to be part of it. No, she's not. Blah, blah, blah. I can hear them, and so
That's not how it went.
so they're in this competition, a weight loss competition. Their goal is to look similar to pictures that they took about a decade ago.
No.
And they have to do it by June 10th. So, Vicky, how's your competition going?
It's not going as well as it could have been. I did drink a lot of water. I wish we had a camera on your face. He's like, I hate you. It's not going as well as it should be, but I drank a lot of water. I felt like I made better choices. Actually, no, I made terrible choices this week. Last night, though, we got Rico's, and of course I wanted a dessert. Of course I did, but I didn't. I didn't get one. I didn't leave without you knowing. I had chocolate-covered... Shut up.
I had a protein shake.
I had chocolate-covered bananas in the fridge, in the freezer.
Okay, so you did have dessert, but you didn't go out and buy one.
Yeah, I didn't have a crazy ass dessert.
Okay, this is a weight loss competition, not a
chocolate-covered
finance
bananas?
competition.
Semi
Okay.
healthy.
I'm really strategic with this shit. I drove them through the drive-through at Baskin Robbins
I know.
and they thought I ate that. That was for Allie and my boy.
Okay, he thinks he's so sly. First of all, he invited us out for a Korean barbecue, all you can eat. We went and we enjoyed
Protein. That's it.
it. And then, yeah, he took us to a Baskin Robbins drive-thru. Who knew there was a Baskin Robbins drive-thru?
I
I
did.
had no idea.
It's all strategy, and I pointed you right to it.
And you know what? I got one scoop instead of my usual 2.
But now you know where it is. Are you in this or no? Because that's not what the conversation was.
You two are conniving in her room. I don't know what y'all are doing, but this
Okay.
is my fear.
Hold on, to be
We're
clear,
on the phone.
we're on the phone. It's like we're there whispering.
They're like, secret meeting, and they close the door, and they don't let me in.
That's
It's a little weird.
not true.
It's like so strange.
So not true.
I think I was asking, I was like, hey, is she in this? Because it seems like she is.
Yeah, and I said I don't think. I said she said she was, but in the last pod, I don't remember you being like, okay, fine, I'll do it.
I think the conversation ends on, all right, fine, let's do this. Like, whatever, I'll go with your
All right.
lack of parameters.
I didn't
Then you're in it. But I thought we were changing the end date based on whether you were participating.
I don't remember that at all.
That's what Vic said.
What is the end date now?
I
thought
thought
it was
that
June
we
10th.
would. Yeah, June 10th. I feel like we should push it out to the end of June.
Why?
Well, because if you're going to be in it,
We're trying to catch up.
I'm with it.
What?
I'm with the end of June.
Why do you want to move it to the end of June?
Because I wasn't sure if you were in it. My main strategy has
And
been
now-
against Vicky.
Okay. Okay. All right, fine. If you're going to change the end date, then I get to establish one parameter
Let's
that
go.
all of us have to follow.
Let's do it.
That's fair.
Everybody has to have a poundage of which they are trying to lose.
That's fair.
I'm open to deliberation with this one parameter.
Could we
Alright.
do like an over under?
What's-
5.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll even let you go over under 10.
I'm going to lose 30 pounds.
Okay, then I'm gonna lose 5.
That's bullshit.
Okay, I'm gonna lose 10.
That's bullshit.
Okay.
I don't want to hear the guys lose weight faster than women.
But they do.
Okay,
Why
so
don't-
without saying that, what do you think is an appropriate number for? Based on that, that's our baseline here.
I don't know if 30 pounds is going to get me to that picture. So I don't know. I'd have to.
But
I
then-
don't remember.
But then the picture wouldn't be the end goal anymore.
I know, but I just want to get to that picture.
Okay, you want that picture.
Yeah.
Look. All right, let me think of a parameter
was
around
killing
an
me back then.
image. Okay, you guys have already submitted your pictures, right?
Right.
Okay, I will submit a picture as well.
But you can create another parameter. Just so
Yeah,
that you
we
feel,
could say like whatever, and then if none of us get to our picture, then it's like, then did you lose the amount of weight you said you were going to lose? And
I'm
who
getting
was,
to the picture.
who was over under? Okay. I believe you. I believe we all can do it. Well, we can think about it now that we've.
Yeah.
We can change the denomination. We can,
Denomination.
yeah.
This is going from Christian to Hindu. Is that what you mean?
The amount of
No,
money,
that
dude.
just means amount of money.
What? Denomination?
Yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with religion.
Oh, interesting.
You're hella smart to not know that.
Denomination is something that refers to money.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Haven't you, Vic?
But that's because we use it a lot in like writing IEP goals. That's
Oh.
how I know it.
Interesting.
Okay,
All right. Well,
so-
now I learned something.
You can change that. You can raise it or lower it, whatever makes you comfortable. You can throw in a competition, like a mini competition, within the competition, like a sprint,
What am I?
bonus round, bench press
What?
competition,
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. All right.
like a step off, like hey yo, you won the whatever the picture, but I got like 1 billion steps in.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
And she would kill us at that.
Do you guys have the Nike Run app? We can do a challenge.
I
on
don't, but I have a Apple Watch.
But you could get the Nike Run
that. You
app.
could easily get
That's-
the Nike.
It's
Run.
free.
Don't I have to have the thing in my shoe?
No, it just tracks my walks.
But you use an Apple Watch?
I use my phone, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could get it.
Okay, we'll do a challenge until June 21st.
But half of your steps, well,
Well,
100 of
hold
your
up.
steps equates to like 50 of mine.
I think it should be 4 months from today. So the 27th, because now we're all on the same page that you're doing it too. That was not clear to us at that time.
That's what they were conniving about.
Only cleared, yeah, that's exactly what
I'm
we were
trying to beat her.
conniving
I am
about.
trying to get her to eat Ricos. I've been whispering tacos, tacos, tacos in her ear for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And she bit last night.
Why? Shut up! Of course, I was gonna eat Ricos at least once since you told me.
Okay. Then we'll do.
Oh, I see the wheels spinning. This is a bad
We're
idea.
gonna do 100 miles on
I'm
the
with
Nike
it.
Run app
Okay.
by June 30th,
Okay.
Okay. I'm with it.
Fair.
starting March 1st, which is Monday.
It's not going to be one of these things we keep pushing out every pod.
No.
What?
In September.
We should write it down. And
Alright.
then in one of our note apps, and we all have to sign it. The contract.
I'm just gonna
And lock the note.
Everyone's just gonna download it, and we're all gonna join the challenge.
100 miles. Okay.
All right.
Now that we've got that settled.
I need to submit my picture still.
Yeah, you do. All right. What was everyone's highs and lows?
My high and low is the same.
Okay.
As what?
I was really, really excited to go to a restaurant.
Oh.
It was my first time in like a year. And then it sucked.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
That
It
was
horrible.
bad. I don't even want to put them on blast. I know they didn't mean to do us like that, but I was like very disappointed in the service. And it's like,
No.
yeah, there's a pandemic.
Fuck that. Gin Barbecue, Saratoga Avenue.
Oh.
It was trash. And we've been going there since they opened.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, it's a pandemic, but they hired a bunch of teenagers and now it's trash. And they came out with these little bitty Korean grills, Korean barbecue grills. I have one of those at my house. I could have did that shit at home.
Dude,
It was trash.
what annoyed me is at the end when we got that last batch, because now you have a strict time limit because of pandemic. The meat came out super gross.
And I asked her, I said, hey, can we change our grills? She's like, she brand new to me. She's like, I'll do it next time. So our food was gross, so we didn't even eat it.
It was super gross.
GEN Barbecue, Saratoga Avenue.
God. Yeah, it was bad, dude.
You guys need to make it right. You guys need to give us some free food somehow.
It was
That's
not
why I did that.
popping. It was not popping. Did you feel that way about our experience?
Yeah. I mean, I felt the same way that you guys felt.
I had fun with you guys, but
Yeah, it was a great time.
I mean, I had fun having a shitty experience with you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It was, yeah.
And then you said that the manager was fake.
She was fake.
What do you mean?
So she's a fake manager. She just put on some pants.
A different colored shirt. They
Yeah.
were weird, man.
I can
Yeah, there
tell
was something going on.
a lot of dude. When we got there, we needed a table for 5. I put in the reservation my damn self. So I said 5. Okay, obviously there's only 4, and I was like, and we're all not going to sit down until everyone has a seat because, duh. And so I'm like, excuse me, and she's over here gossiping, and I'm like, and in my head I know she's gossiping about something because I can hear them, but Richard and Cristina and Alec, they're thinking she's talking about the chair.
Yeah, I thought it was a problem.
And I was like, you guys, no, she's straight up gossiping about something's going down.
I was taking deep breaths. Like, I was like, okay, here we go. We'll let Vic handle it. And turns out she was talking about some bullshit.
Yeah. And I kept saying, excuse me, hello. And, like, I'm cool with waiters. Like, I respect their hustle. Like, I really appreciate them. But, like, when you are doing stupid shit, I'm like, come on. Like, anyone would get annoyed with that. I think it's funny that you guys thought she was in that deep a conversation about this 5th chair.
Well, what else would she be talking about?
Yeah, I thought there was like a problem with the number. Of
Right.
people.
At first
I thought
I
we
did
were
too.
over.
At first I
limit.
did too, and I was like, but then I could hear her talking about, like, I don't know what they said. I'm like, oh, hell no. I was like, excuse me. She was like talking for like a good 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah,
It felt like a long time.
it did take a long time.
So that was like our first thing to be like, okay, here we go. I thought it was a fluke though.
I thought it was, and then our
And then it kept
server
going.
came. He was a weirdo.
He was really weird.
He was like watching his back.
It was,
know.
yeah, he was. And I was like, are we bothering you? Like, is us sitting here and ordering interrupting something?
He was looking over his shoulder like he was gonna get beat
It
up.
was crazy. And then we ordered like 3 things. He goes, okay. And then Richard was like, oh, okay, hold on, homie. You're here for the long run. And then, like, take out your little pen. The fuck?
Yeah.
It was weird.
I was really good though. I'm usually kind of a dick in those situations. I feel like I was a little better than I usually am.
You were nice. You were respectful.
Yeah, you were. We had the right to be a dick, but we did not exercise self-control for once. There's been times though that I've gone off in a restaurant before I got my food. So every time I'm about to lose it in a restaurant, Cristina goes, "Can we please get our food first?" Because one time I fucked it up.
You had to leave? You had to bounce?
No.
You still got food?
Yeah, so
You ate it
Yeah,
I know.
after you flashed?
yeah.
I know.
That's a guaranteed positive COVID test.
I mean, this was years ago, but yeah, definitely now. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, that was a bummer, but hopefully they get their shit together.
I'm not going back.
I've been, you have that other spot you really like, but I don't think they're doing outdoor dining. I like that spot too.
Nah, I found
You found another one?
I found a place to get everything they got.
Oh, got
Do
it.
at home.
All right. I would
DM me,
agree.
folks. I'm gonna put you on.
What about you,
I thought you
Christina?
didn't want people to DM you.
For this is a spite DM. I'm really upset with Jen.
Got
I've
it.
spent lots of we've spent lots of money at that place.
It's true. My high was there was a point in this pandemic where I was drinking a lot.
Girl.
A few glasses of wine, like 5 days out of the week.
What are you about to say?
So then I stopped drinking for a while. Not stop drinking, just stop drinking on the
I
weekdays.
got a FaceTime at midnight.
Hey, that's my high. So I've just been drinking less, and then
Since January.
on Wednesday, yeah.
We've done a good job.
And then Wednesday, I don't remember why, but I was like, I'm gonna have some glasses of wine.
Because we were supposed to do something.
fun.
We were supposed to pod.
That's right.
And we didn't pod on Wednesday.
So I wanted to do something fun.
Yeah.
And I ended up drinking a bottle of wine.
Uh-oh.
And I had a great night. I was enjoying the show I was watching.
I made really good pasta. That pasta was good.
That was that night?
Yeah, that was pasta night.
Okay. Dinner was good. I was texting all my friends. I texted my sister. It was good old fun. I finished the bottle of wine. I noticed it was a stunning bottle.
I'm gonna post this picture right here. Okay.
It was a stunning bottle. And I was like, this would make a great craft. And I'm like, who has a glass cutter?
And you love crafts. I don't
love
think we've
crafts.
ever said that before.
I love crafts, all types of crafts. Who would have a glass cutter? And the only people I could think of was my grandfather or Richard. I'm not going to wake my grandfather up. It's midnight. Like, he's sleeping. So I called Richard. And he answered. That's his fault that he answered my phone call.
Not just calls, FaceTime.
It was a FaceTime.
I thought something was wrong.
I know, I was thinking about this too, because I was like, that's exactly what he's going to say when I talk about this. Okay, but just for your reference, if I am calling you on the phone, that's probably an emergency. If I'm calling you on FaceTime, it is most definitely be silly
What if
and to
Vicky
joke
beat
with
you up and you wanted to show me like your busted lip or something?
No, I still would just call you.
Okay.
I wouldn't be like, oh, look at me.
You better come get this bitch.
And also, that would never happen. Vicky would be calling you about me. And she probably would FaceTime. Anyways, but that was my high. It was just fun. I had a fun night. I had funny text conversations going on. I made some memes that I thought are hilarious, and I am going to use very soon. It was great. I had a fun night.
Well, I'm gonna post it right here.
What? Post what?
We're shooting a video, so that the meme is happening right now.
Got it. My meme.
Your meme.
Oh, I thought you had a meme that you were going to post.
Nope, it's still up, and now it's gone.
Okay. Yeah, I had a fun night. I was making myself laugh. was educating my fans on Snapchat
Oh my
about
gosh.
gaslighting and
If you-
narcissism.
If you follow Cristina on Snapchat, you are not her friend.
You're a
When she
fan.
knows you are her fan, and that's myself included.
Yo,
I follow her on
do
Snap.
you have like a big audience?
No, I don't.
No.
I get about 14 views per snap.
Are they all like these fans? Are they people that you know personally?
Some of them are tins.
Excuse me.
People from Tinder
Oh, okay.
or Hinge.
Okay.
Why do you say it like that? Why are you making a face like that?
Why you give them your Snapchat?
Why not?
That's like the most non-invasive way they can get a hold of me.
Yeah.
I don't have a Snapchat, so
Oh, you can like hit people up and not have to have their phone number.
I think I have a Snapchat.
I'm sure at some point you did, but you can like, it's like the way like, oh, can I get your Snap? And you don't have to give them your number. They don't gotta know
okay.
nothing about you.
I like Snapchat because it's low key and it doesn't like keep a memory. Like Instagram, it's like your whole profile
Yeah.
matters. Snapchat, it's like one pic and then it's gone.
What I didn't like is like somebody could add me or request me because they were near me, right?
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I think you can turn that feature off.
It's like just because you walk past me, homie, doesn't mean we Gucci.
Yeah, I feel that. I don't know if people do
Yeah.
that though.
Nah, it happened at work.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
like, yo,
Hey, you know, I've heard of people airdropping nudes to people on the bus.
oh wow.
That's crazy.
So they just look up, see who's
Yeah, on the bus.
wow.
What's more invasive? A random nude
That's
you didn't
funny.
ask for or your Snapchat?
Because you don't know who it's gonna go to, so you send the nude and then you look around like for the reaction.
Yeah, or like I'm sure girls have done if they see like a hot dude nearby and like just figure this is his name and just hope that it's him. Drop a nude or something,
Interesting.
or they drop like a
crazy.
text like, "Hey, I think you're hot. Here's my number." I've heard of people doing that. That's some new age shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
My high for the week was I was gonna say going out to dinner.
Stole it.
Jen, we had fun, even though it was shitty food. I think we had a good time.
Yeah, I'm a little bummed out because I could see like going out to dinner, going to get a dessert, kicking it in a parking lot. Like that could be my summer. That could be my entertainment for the summer.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna be like out there in the streets, which I rarely am. But and then when it sucked, I was like, all right, well, fuck.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's a flick, but we'll keep it pushing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just that place.
Dude, I have gotten so much good feedback about people just enjoying listening to the pod, and that's been feeling really good.
Why?
Like
That would be great if you could share that.
Yeah, why did they listen to us? Why did they like
my friend hit me up today and was like, "Hey, good luck filming the pod. Like, I can't wait to hear my favorite trio."
Oh, cool.
And
Who's that?
they like the banter between. What'd you say? They like the what? They like the banter between you guys, like the topics,
The fights.
our perspectives. Yeah.
It's funny that everybody thinks it's banter and Cristina wants to hurt me.
I think that's
You used to want to hurt me.
What? I'm not a violent person.
Okay. You used to be really upset with me.
You like to get under people's skin.
It's fun.
Word. I would agree with that. My friend Billy hit me up this morning. He was just like, "Are you podding today? I'm so proud of you. You guys are killing it."
That's dope.
My friend Eric, I just said the same thing, and so it's
Shout
just
out Eric. He's a
shout
he's
out
a podder.
Eric. My brother E. It was his birthday a couple days ago. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
I want to do a collab with his pod really soon.
Shout him out. Shout out to Pod.
Yo, shout out to the Dope Theory podcast.
Nice.
I can't wait to see you guys on camera, which he's editing right now. He said
Nice.
it's his birthday. It was his birthday Thursday, the 25th. So he's coming over tomorrow for birthday margaritas.
Nice.
I also was going through some hard mental stuff this week, and it was just so nice to look around and see the people I have around me that keep me accountable, that help me work some of this shit out. Like Richard, you and I had a good talk the other day, and you were like, "I don't want to keep telling you this every day, but I will." And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be told this every day, but it's nice to have people that like will fucking tell you the same shit. And so it was nice. My best friend called me yesterday morning and we talked, and she talked me off a ledge.
Nice.
And it was just nice to like, yo, like stop being in your feelings by yourself. Like, let your people know what's up, because they want to be there for you. So it was nice to just like show gratitude for that, for like the team people in my life. So
Sure.
I felt good. It was a low, but it was like, nah, like this is not a low, that you have all these people that want to be there for you. So that was dope.
And yeah, I don't mind like repeating what I said.
I know, but at some point I just have to be like, okay, it's gonna be okay. He's right. I don't need to keep stressing about this one thing. That's where my frustration with it comes from. Not that no one will tell me, but it's just like, you know what he's gonna say, and you know that to be true, so chill.
I know it's not on our docket, but would you mind like sharing what you're going through, or not really?
I'm just like struggling with like with what's going on with my like personal life, and like I don't think I'm at where I think I need to be, or I should be at. Almost, I'll be 32 next month, so I'm feeling very self-conscious about it, and I get frustrated with like aspects of that insecurity that I just don't feel like, or I'm where I should be, and that's the triggering word, right? Should. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
And then there's like an aspect that I really struggle with every day because I'm worried about it.
And I only ask you to share that because I know there's probably listeners out there that share that same feeling at times, and like the advice I gave you, extend to them, like, stop comparing yourself to other people.
Mm-hmm. You said something really nice to me. Well, you usually are really nice to me, but you were like, Vic, stop worrying about comparing yourself because you are doper than all of them.
Right.
And I was like, okay.
It's facts. And
well, thank you.
Like, know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't see something online or get hit up by a friend and just kind of forget that.
Yeah.
Like, don't.
Yeah.
Like, I'm dope. It's a pandemic. Mm-hmm. I don't have to work right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know there's pressing things going on. Like,
yeah.
I get that. But, yeah.
But, like, I'm okay.
Don't lose sight of what's going on in the world, where you are, what you've done.
Yeah.
Like, none of that stuff goes away just because of this moment.
Yeah.
And like I said, you're going to look back in 20 years and you don't want to look back at this time like, yo, I spent the whole time stressing. Mm-hmm. You want to look back at this time like, yo, I had the time of my life.
Yeah.
Doing whatever I wanted to do. It was so nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So cherish that a little bit more.
Yeah. I agree. That's the same thing that's been sort of on my heart, is like, you have a home. You're not worried about being able to pay bills. You're not worried about so many things that in a moment could change, and so many things that like people would like die to not have to worry about. So use this as a launching pad. This is a time and a moment to do something different, and it's uncomfortable, and I think that's just...
Oh, I'm very uncomfortable. Yeah. I am the most uncomfortable I've been maybe my whole life because I don't have a plan.
Well, good. Uncomfortableness is just learning. It's a learning opportunity, and the more you lean into discomfort, the better it feels. Like you always say, like, you got to just get your reps. Just lean into it. Like, I always think of it as a learning moment.
And I feel like I have been leaning into it. Like, I'm literally almost vertical in discomfort.
Yeah.
And now I'm like at that final stage where it's like, either I'm going to lay down in this discomfort or I'm going to get the fuck up.
Yeah.
But what's easier and what's the best for me? So like right now, I think I'm at that final stage. I feel like I've done a lot in this time.
Yeah.
A lot of growing, a lot of doing, a lot of like making up for things that I haven't done because I was a toxic workaholic.
Yeah.
But
trying new things.
But like it's the pressing issue of, if we're going to keep it real, of getting out of here.
Right.
Which I do think is going to be okay no matter what. It's just nice to have.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if we don't, okay. Oh well. Like, it's going to be fine.
Okay. Well, that's nice to hear. But I don't ever want... I think that I don't want it to be perceived to me that I'm not taking it seriously. But I don't think anyone thinks that
No one
about me.
thinks so.
That's just my insecurity with
I
it.
think anybody thinks that you're not taking it seriously. In fact, I think you gotta give yourself a break.
Yeah, I think you do too. You need to stop thinking about it because I think it stresses you out, and then
It's
we
bad.
avoid things when we stress out, or we overthink things when we're stressed
Yeah,
out.
dude, I didn't work out all week because I've been stressed out about it.
So you
Oh,
just gotta
really?
let it go.
Yeah, I didn't have, like, I was putting me in a mood. I was just like, it was so heavy. And I was like, I don't want to do
Nah,
anything.
that's toxic strategy, right? I shouldn't use.
What? Were you use a
Yeah,
joke?
I was gonna make a joke too, but
Is
I
that
won't hold back.
toxic strategy?
Y'all
Just-
gonna make a joke no matter what.
Time
Now,
and place.
now you want to call it toxic? Go ahead.
I was just gonna. My joke was gonna be, she's been stressed for a really long time. She's been really stressed.
I'm gonna start giving you fucked up advice so you stop exercising entirely. I win this competition.
Okay, well, I do want to do something cool for the pod because it's my birthday coming up.
Yes.
wow.
Okay, so my birthday in the world of Vix, my birthday is a big fucking deal, okay? Ask anybody. Ask anybody. And my Titi Nelly will tell you. It goes on for a month, but I feel like in the last couple of years I've brought it down to a week, but it's an important day to me. So my birthday's next week, and I wanted to do like a play on 30 for 30. Because I'm going to be 32, which I cannot believe.
So why are you doing 30 for 30? Trying to trick these young boys or what?
No. I want to do 32 for 32. It's the play
Okay.
on the words. And I didn't really know what to do. But Cristina thinks I should do like 32 bold moods.
Not moods, bold moves. Did I put moods? Sorry.
Moods. I was going to say moves, but I'm like, moods, I guess you could have a mood.
Can I shoot like a documentary?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing. We have to like somehow capture every moment, either like picture, video. I'll go.
Okay, so I have from today until my birthday to do 32 bold moves. But I have to document it somehow. Either
Yes.
Richard and I are doing something or I'm taping myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could do both.
Or I'll tape.
So I'd like to film the interviews. Like I'm gonna interview people that you know,
Okay.
but you just need to tell me about the moods, and I could run that past them.
Moves.
Bold moves.
Like actions.
Why didn't you make this clearer?
I must have been a typo, but it said moods. It's supposed to be moves.
What do you mean moves?
Like 32 bold moves, meaning 32 moments where Vicky leans into discomfort or does something out of her norm, or
Give me an
like
example.
like going off of her recent bold move, she texts a guy that she likes and asks him out on a date, or she decides to work out instead of laying in bed all day, or she decides to, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to think about, I don't know.
I mean, but bold for this situation can mean a lot of things. So it's just
Yeah.
basically me. I think it should be 32 times I leaned in.
To just, yep,
Leaned into whatever it is. The
Yep.
boldness, the discomfort, the
whatever it is.
32 times I have to just lean in.
Cristina, will you narrate it?
Absolutely.
Can I hear your narration voice?
Yeah. What would I say?
In a time before, I don't know, just riff it.
Just pretend you're watching me do something, you're narrating it.
And with that, Vicky leaned in to her discomfort.
Okay.
Good night.
Let's see it.
We can do some ASMR.
No.
And with that, she leaned into her discomfort.
Are you an ASMR person?
Yes. The other night, I spent about an hour watching ingrown hairs be removed
That's
on
disgusting.
YouTube.
Whoa.
To an extent, I
What?
believe that is ASMR.
Christina, hold up. What?
I love
Like
watching
at your
pimples
desk
be
or like
popped
on your phone?
on my phone
So
while I
you
was
watch
laying in
like
bed.
the pimple popper lady?
Oh, that show is like, there's too many like bells and whistles. I just like to watch the straight up pop, so
Ew.
I prefer to just go onto YouTube.
Do you pop your own pimples?
Yes, but with a special tool. I don't do it like a ninny muggin, like a teenager.
You have one of those scoopers.
It's not a scooper, but yes,
It's like a.
it's like a plow more.
Okay.
It pushes the out. I also like watching pedicures, like really bad, ugly, gross toes being cleaned up.
So like the before and after. You like the
I like watching the toe jam be removed. I like watching the ingrown toenails be clipped.
that's disgusting.
I love watching ear cleanings. Oof, those
I like
are
ear
good.
cleanings too.
I'm really thinking about getting one of those ear cleaning cameras where you can do it to yourself and like watch yourself. Like that sounds great.
You guys.
I've
I
heard
would
those
love
are super
that.
dangerous though.
What? Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, you can get like an impacted
in your-
eardrum. It's really dangerous.
Okay, fine. I won't do it.
I used to over clean my ears, and yeah, I got impacted.
Dude, a little. I have a gross story. A little earwax is good, right? Because it protects the eardrum.
Right.
Yeah.
But not a lot. So one time when I was in middle school, and I will never, even though this person is like grown up and like has his whole life now, I will never forget him. He will always be the kid who had so much earwax it came out of his ear, and I saw it when we were running the mile during PE.
Yeah.
That's gross.
It was like sitting in his ear.
That's gross. That's gross. That was the bar.
That's gross.
It was so. It's like that's like you, bruh. You cannot feel like the wetness on your ear, and like forever, that guy is the kid
Earwax
who
boy.
had earwax, and we were in 7th grade.
Do I know him?
No.
Oh man.
I was young. What are you in 7th grade?
I think that stuff is gross. It just feels very satisfying to watch.
Yeah, you like the okay.
Yes.
I get it. I just think there's other ways to fulfill that need.
Like what?
Like Vic watches leaf blowing.
Leaf blowing.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that?
Do you want to
about
talk
you?
more about that? Like, what is so special
Did
about leaf blowing?
did I just
I
break
like
that?
I like the sound.
And the completion, like
Yeah.
watching it.
I had no idea. Wow.
I've been watching it a long time.
I like car detailing. But I
that.
like the, I guess it's the ASMR stuff that I can like apply. So like barber videos, because I do that.
Ooh,
Like,
I love
cut my
barber
own hair.
videos.
And then like to car detailing, because I have like a project car. And cutting grass, because sometimes I cut grass.
I like cutting grass ones too.
Yeah. It's more of a like the DIY, like how do you do it?
Mm-hmm.
But you get caught up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Not really for the sensory input.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I really, really like, especially when I'm really stressed, is watching plants unfold. And like they have ones that have like really like nice lo-fi beats behind it. Oh,
I get
it's
that.
perfect. It's perfect. I love watching the leaves.
Yeah, anything that like looks like I love seeing things come to completion.
Yeah. I have one more story about Q-tips that I would like to share.
Go for it.
Go for it.
One time I was cleaning my ears, and I don't remember why, but maybe I had an itch, and
Oh no.
I put the Q-tip in my ear, and then I left it in my ear while I was doing something else with this hand, and I ended up going like this
Ow!
and shoved the the Q-tip down my ear, and it still hurts to this moment to think about it.
Oh fuck.
Ow!
You just had to like pull it out. Did you hear like, was your hearing fucked up for a couple days?
There was something wrong, yeah, with my hearing.
You didn't tell anybody?
I kept it to myself.
You probably ruptured.
I think I was living alone at the time, so I really kept it to myself.
Wow.
Nobody knew.
Jeez.
Wow.
Nobody cared.
You could like really damage your eardrum. Don't go sticking shit in your ears, folks. Be careful. Bigger than your elbow.
What? Bigger than your elbow?
You don't stick anything bigger than your elbow in your ears. Doctors say Q-tips are dangerous.
I know.
Because I did that to myself. I impacted my ear. They said Q-tips are horrible.
Well,
Have you guys seen coning?
What?
Coning.
Yeah.
It's legit.
My mom used to do that to us.
Really?
Well, when we had an earache, it wasn't to get the earwax out.
You could do both.
Yeah, well, she did it when we had an earache.
Weren't you afraid of the embers falling into your ear?
Oh, of course. I remember screaming, crying, "Oh, it's gonna let me on fire!" And her being like, "Stop it, Vicky! It's not." And it didn't.
Did she make her own cones?
Yeah, out of newspaper.
Wow. And it worked.
Yeah.
I used to stick cigarettes in my ear when I had because I swam and I smoked. But if I got water in there, I'd stick a cigarette in there and suck it all up.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got swimmer's ear all the time.
All the time.
We had to we used to buy that swimmer's ear medication in packs because I got it so often.
Just stick a cigarette in there.
Oh well, we didn't have those growing up, but we had swimmer's ear. You remember that?
I don't smoke anymore.
The cone or swimmer's ear?
The cone.
Yeah, vaguely.
We're gonna do Black History Month Spotlight a little bit differently today. We're putting a different spin on it. You want to intro it?
Well, I just think that there's been, every time we talk about it, there's been a consistent theme. We've talked about artists and musicians. We've talked about women. We've talked about scientists, inventors.
Mm-hmm.
And so for this week, I at work actually I learned about
Invisible.
a lot of Black icons, Black heroes that have been highly just ignored and sort of not really well known because they're Black, but they also have these other parts of their identity that are either extremely visible and that's what casts them out and sort of makes them an outlier, or they have something that's invisible that sort of holds them back from, I guess, entering these other realms. So wanted to highlight. I need to pull up my notes just to make sure I have it.
Okay, but when you look up, how I understood invisible and visible identities was more literal than that. So anybody who is Black, that's a visible identity. You know they're Black.
Right.
And then there's that invisible identity of in comparison to someone who might be Jewish. You don't automatically know that about someone until you get to know them. Right. And so that's how I took invisible and visible identities, but then you explained it how it's there's more to a person than what we see.
Right. Elon Musk is African American.
Right. Well, he's African.
Right.
South African.
He's not a citizen now.
Right.
He's not an American citizen now.
Oh, I don't know.
So.
Would you call that an African American though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say someone who's born here is African American. I would say he's from South Africa.
Okay. I got you. Yeah. I'm with you. He's African.
He's African. Yeah, but that's obviously colonialism.
He's not Black. But.
Right, exactly. But yeah, those invisible things. And so the first person I want to highlight is Brad Lomax, who's a former Black Panther, but he's also disabled. He had multiple sclerosis. He was in a wheelchair, and he fought hard. He was doing his thing with the Black Panthers. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm meaning our audience. The Black Panthers did so much, especially in the Oakland community, in the Bay Area community. They're the group that brought free and reduced lunch to schools. They've done a lot of amazing things. So Brad Lomax used his power, used his position as a Black Panther to help fight for this legislation that was called Section 504, and I think it was part of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So it was amending it, and he ended up doing this, I think it was a year and a half. He did a sit-in in the federal building in San Francisco, in the Department of Health, and I forget what the department is.
He stayed there for a year and a half?
He did a sit-in for, I think it was about a year and a half. I have to double check. But he led this. The Black Panthers brought food to the people who would sit in, and they did this to make this legislation pass. And so if you're in the education world, you probably know 504 plans, it's because of Brad Lomax and the work that he did with his group, with the Black Panthers. It's also a really meaningful, impactful thing on our lives because we have people who also suffer from multiple sclerosis who benefit from this legislation. And so I had no idea that this legislation happened because of this man.
Yeah, that's
so
really cool.
that was inspiring to me, and I think just the intersectional aspect of him being disabled, and sort of just bringing light to the Black disabled experience was something that was also really inspiring to me. And so I wanted to make sure that we highlight those other parts, other identities that are coherent in that Black identity, Black community.
Yeah. And to contrast, but still in the same realm, we wanted to highlight Elijah McClain.
Yes.
Who was unlawfully killed 18 months ago, and his 25th birthday was this week.
Mm-hmm.
That young man should still be alive today.
Mm-hmm.
But he was an artist. He was an animal lover. He played the violin.
Violinist,
Son, brother, friend, all of those really important things and he should still be here. I saw a quote from his mom the other day and it was very simple, but it was so sad. She said, I don't understand why he's not here today. There's no reason for it.
No reason.
What I did read is that there really hasn't been any kind of justice for his death.
Nope.
His murder. 2 of his killers are still employed by the Aurora Police Department, and no one has been charged yet.
It's crazy.
Yep. Exactly. Elijah was an introvert, which is why I wanted to highlight that. I think that's a part. I think it's more overt now when we like talk about our identities, introverted, extroverted,
Right.
and everything between it. But that was something that stood out to me as well. Like, I'm an introvert, 100%. So just that introverted aspect of him, I think, played a role in his death and his murder. The misunderstanding of that part of his identity contributed to what happened here. And so that's definitely, I think, an invisible identity that we wanted to highlight.
Yeah. We have we have 2 more. Mark Dean. He was a computer and scientist. Mark Dean helped develop the number of landmark technologies as IBM, including the color PC monitor and the first gigahertz chip.
Oh yeah, that was my guy. He invented.
This was your guy. Sorry. Go ahead.
I did my homework this time.
Oh wow. Okay, might be.
She totally took credit for me.
I'm sorry.
I know, she kept looking at you. Yeah, he invented the color computer monitor.
Wow.
It's pretty dope.
That's insane. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know much about the history of computers, but
I was going to spotlight Chuck Berry, but for weird reasons. So, Chuck Berry was an African-American, musician during the big band era. But he played the guitar really well. And at the same time as Elvis. But he didn't get the same shine as Elvis for obvious reasons because of the time. But what's interesting about Chuck Berry is he's fine with it. And that normalized, acceptance that he kind of embraced. It's really sad, you know?
sad.
He was fine with it. He knew why he didn't get the shine. He knew why. Some people call him bitter and everything else and kind of abrasive. But he'll tell you, Elvis is white. That's why he's famous. And he got inducted into the Hall of Fame in, I think, 1986 or 7. He didn't even care. He didn't care
That's
at all.
so sad. Just to normalize not getting the shine you deserve or not getting recognized or normalizing being an invisible identity.
Yeah, and he got a lot of his swag ripped off by Elvis. A lot of that was Chuck Berry. And
wow.
Yeah. He just kind of was okay, not okay with it, but just kind of he had no choice but accept it. It sucks. But yeah.
It's terrible. I'm glad that we're diving more into personality traits and things like this and the intersectionality of personalities and identities, because I think it's really important. I think that we have a lot of work to do as a society, but I think the more that we have a discussion about it and we're educated about it, the better off we will be, and the bigger steps we take towards that kind of hope of seeing everybody for what they are, not trying to fit everyone into this box, or not judging people based on their skin color or how they talk or their man or a woman.
It's true.
All right. Well, that was a good way to kind of close off Black History Month.
Yeah.
Next month is
Women's History Month.
So we gonna do it again.
Oh, you saw me, sir.
Yeah, I saw you for sure.
They didn't see me, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, did you make a face?
Not at all.
He was cheering in his seat. He's so excited for Women's History Month.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we wanted to close off. Uh-oh.
Because I'm not a woman.
What?
Do I have to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm ready.
All right. Can we make a true crime theme song? Yeah. Do 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 do. Da-da-da. I just made it for you.
No, jacked that.
No, we can do that.
I remix a bunch. I 3.
All right.
Oh yeah, we doing true crime.
Today's true crime story is about, unfortunately, a little girl named Aisha
on.
Degree.
God.
But there's nothing. Okay, I'm actually just gonna jump into it before I make a comment about what it is and what it's not. The year is 2000. The place is Shelby, North Carolina. Again, it's 2000. Every time I think of 2000, I think of our trip to Disney World, and that's how I orient my life. So I know in 2000, I was 9 years old, same age as little Aisha Degree. So Aisha's a 9-year-old girl who lives with her family. Obviously, she has a older brother. She's very close with her family, very close with her parents, very close with her extended family. Her grandmother lives across the street from her. I think her aunt lives like not too far away from her.
Oh, they close.
Yeah, so it's February. It's almost Valentine's Day. Aisha has that Friday before Valentine's Day off work. Not off work. Off school. She's in the 4th grade. And she goes to her aunt's house. They hang. It's a great day. The next day is a Saturday. Aisha is on a basketball team and she has a tournament or a game. And it wasn't a good game because Aisha fouls out. So she gets kicked out of the game. She's kind of upset about it. But she ends up going and watching her brother's game and things were cool. Next day, she goes to church with her family like they always do. And her mom sort of describes their family as like a really sort of sheltered family. They spend most of their time within their family group, within their church group, or within like their sports or things that they do. So Sunday rolls around and Aisha, her mom, and her brother and her dad go to church. After church, dad goes off to work, and mom takes Aisha and the brother home. And that night, so this is February 13th, 2000, I think it's a Sunday. The next day is Valentine's Day, which is actually the same day as Aisha's parents' wedding anniversary. And it's Valentine's Day. Like, what a cute day to get married. So cute. Anyways, so that night, there's a car accident that happens pretty close to where Aisha lives, and that knocks out the power in like the surrounding neighborhood. So because of that, Aisha's mom, instead of giving the nightly bath to her kids like she usually would, she sends the kids off to bed around 8 o'clock. And so I guess like what happens between like this night and the morning is like a little bit blurry. It's a little bit unclear what happened. There's not a lot of good reporting about it. But from what I know, dad comes home around 12:30 from his job. He checks on his kids before he goes to bed, and he sees that they're both there. Dad does something. He's either like, some people say that he went to the store to get candy for his kids. Some people said that he, I don't know, watched TV. I don't know. But something happens where around 2:30 he goes and he checks on his daughter again, or his kids again. They sleep in the same room, and they're there. So he goes to bed. Aisha's brother remembers hearing Aisha get up a little bit, like probably around 2 o'clock, 2:30. He hears her, what he thinks is going to the bathroom. He hears her like bed creaking, but he's just thinking, well, she's just, turning around in her bed, no big deal. He goes to sleep. The next morning, mom wakes up at about 5:45. She's waking up a little bit early than her usual 6:30 alarm because she has to give her kids back because they didn't take one the night before. So after she wakes up, she gets herself ready a little bit, and then she goes to wake up her kids. And she calls her son. Her son like hops out of bed, and she calls her daughter, and she realizes she's not in her bed. She looks around for her. She's like sometimes like sleeps by her brother's bed, I guess. So mom goes and checks there. Can't find her. At this point, she goes and she's waking up her husband, letting her know that she can't find Aisha. They start searching everywhere for her. They search in the cars. They search outside. They search the house. They call her mom, who lives again across the street, and asks if Aisha's there. They call the aunt who was with them on Friday. Nobody's seen Aisha, so they call the police right away, and they report this child missing. Okay.
That's crazy that she was checked on so many times.
Right.
Yeah. And there's like, she's accountable. Like, people heard her or saw her
Yeah.
up until about 2:30.
No irresponsible parenting so far.
No irresponsible parenting. Yeah, parents are. If you're worried that the parents did something wrong here, parents are exonerated. They are good guys in this story.
Okay.
Yeah. So, after this search ensues, like a bunch of people go searching. Like, I read this one article about how the whole neighborhood stayed and searched for this little girl all day. Took off work, didn't go to school, just to help search for Aisha.
Wow.
All they find, I guess, is a mitten in their search. It's not Aisha's mitten, so mom's like, I don't care about this.
Right.
2 days later, as reports are going out about Aisha, 2 motorists report seeing Aisha. Actually, sorry, let me back up a little bit. One neighbor reports seeing around 2:30 in the morning, seeing Aisha, seeing a little girl walking down the street. She had a backpack. She was wearing a t-shirt and jeans that had, I think, a red stripe on them. And she sees this girl walking down the street.
By herself.
And it's storming that night, so it's pouring rain.
Wait, he wasn't like, yo, there's a little girl?
At 2:30 in the morning.
I don't know. So they hear that from a neighbor. Then 2 motorists also report seeing a little girl walking in the middle of the night around 3:30, 4:30 a.m. I think like a truck driver sees a little girl walking around. Another person sees a little girl walking around. This person tries to stop and talk to Aisha. One report said that he like circled around 3 times, and as he approached Aisha and like rolls down his window, Aisha freaks out and she runs into the woods. Again, no one's calling the police to report, hey, there's a little girl walking on the highway at 3:30 in the morning, 4 in the morning. So searches ensue. They have all this information about her being on this highway, so they're searching the highway, and I think about 2 days later, so the 16th or the 17th of February, a woman reports finding within her, I guess she had like a business like on the side of the road. Like I think of it like Hecker Pass, you know, those like fruit stands. She has some sort of business there, and she reports finding in her shed a pencil, a green marker, and a Mickey Mouse hairbow, which was confirmed to be Aisha's. So they find that. Then the next clue doesn't come out, and they just like, they can't find her. There's nothing. They have these sightings of her, they have that evidence of her, but they cannot find her. And so the next clues don't come out until 18 months later, so August of 2001.
Wow.
A man was like, I don't know what he's doing, but he's like excavating his outside. I think it was a construction zone, and he's digging outside, and he digs up a black garbage bag. He's like, this is weird, because he knows that he didn't bury that garbage bag, so he decides to check inside of it. And inside, he finds a backpack with Aisha's name and phone number on it.
Wow.
And at this point, I think this is found in 2001. At that point, that's all the public knows about this backpack. It has her name on it, and it has her phone number in it. And I think he also finds like some candy wrappers that were confirmed to be candy that she got from her basketball tournament that Friday before she disappeared. Nothing else about the contents of the backpack is revealed at that point.
Yo, this is mad weird.
Yeah.
Very strange. So again, without a trace, nothing. No one can find her. She's not reported anywhere. She's not seen anywhere. There's no one necessarily popping up on their radar. Parents, again, are exonerated. They like go back and check in with the parents in March right after this had happened. But again, they were free and clear. So then fast forward, I want to say to, I can double check. Actually, can you tell me? After 2001, what's the next date? 2015. And I don't know how it came about, but the FBI gets involved. And one thing to just sort of name about this case is like, this is a kind of unknown case, and there's very little reporting about it. It was like really hard to find articles and like how to use the Wikipedia sources to find information about this story, because it's so underreported. And the mom is like, she's said in interviews, like, this is underreported because this is a black child. This is a black youth, and this is a black family and a black community that's been impacted. And so it's highly just like underrated. However, there was a lot of involvement in the search for her. So the FBI does get involved. 2015, I don't know how, but the FBI gets this tip that Aisha was seen getting into a car the night that she disappeared. I don't know if it was like the morning of or if it was still nighttime, but they report seeing Aisha, a little girl, getting into a 1970s era green, either Ford Thunderbird or Lincoln Continental. They say that it was, again, 1970s era, so it's like a 30-year-old car. It had rust on it.
Right.
And they report seeing her get into this car. I don't know where this tip comes from. I don't know why the FBI like trusts it necessarily, but the FBI puts this out on the website that they have for Aisha. Then the next clue that emerges in 2018, right? 2018.
Mm-hmm.
In 2018, the FBI finally releases more details about what was inside of the backpack that had Aisha's name on it. So they're revealing these things because there's so little known about this case. They're really struggling to find anything, and so they release these details in the hopes of people having a memory triggered, remembering something. But within the backpack, they found a Dr. Seuss book that wasn't Aisha's. It wasn't from her home library, but it was from the elementary school that she went to. Had been checked out in February of 2000. The other item that they find is a New Kids on the Block like concert t-shirt. And that also wasn't Aisha's. So they're hoping that with revealing those details, there's someone's memory that's triggered. They even post pictures of both of the items that were in the backpack to hopefully get someone remembering something. And that's really all that's known about this case.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is there any speculation as to what happened?
Yeah.
Like, why did this kid just get up?
What are they saying in those Reddit threads?
Not much, honestly. There's a lot of speculation that there was foul play. That's sort of like what the case has been labeled as, foul play. So they are looking for a suspect. They think that I don't know. There was like a couple suspects that they looked into. There was this one pedophile who had a pretty similar situation and happened in a nearby state, and this man happened to be in North Carolina during the time when Aisha disappeared. So some people suspect that he maybe like found her while she was on the road or something, and she got into his car. But other than that, there's not really much that I mean, obviously that I know I can find.
I figured that's what happened after she got out, but how does a little girl just get out?
That's a strange thing. So why did she leave?
Yeah.
So a couple details about her that got revealed later. So it seemed as if Aisha packed a bag. Like she purposely packed some clothing, some other items, because her mom noticed that there was like her like favorite outfits were missing from the home. So that was a strange thing.
Just
and like,
out of the blue. Like
yeah.
no problems, no quarrels at home.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. So like kids running away is pretty typical for kids who are like 12 and above. It's not typical for a 9-year-old to run away. It's also not very typical for a child to run away from a home that is not like a bad place to be. Like runaways typically are running away from like shitty situations at home, like escaping. But it seems as if Aisha left on her own volition. What's also strange is that her mom says she was terrified of the dark. She was terrified of dogs. Like terrified to the point where her mom was like, am I going to be able to get this girl to leave the house? Because like she's afraid of the outside world. So her leaving in the middle of the night, leaving during a storm,
is out of character.
Is very out of character. Some other people suspected maybe she was like sad about losing her basketball tournament.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Maybe.
Or maybe she was coerced by this dude in some other place. Like, hey, like,
yeah,
at 9 or at 2 in the morning,
right?
Leave. Mm-hmm. Meet me at the shack. Yeah,
because the story with that guy is that he had groomed a like family friend, and I don't know where he abducted her from, but he left her in the elementary school. And so just like those clues came together, and I think that's why they connected him to the case. Like maybe she met him through her school somehow, because the family didn't have a computer. The family, like, again, was very sheltered. Like they were kept it really like close because they purposely didn't want their kids going on the internet and like running into pedophiles and shit like that. It also was 2000, so like the internet was like young, and it wasn't typical for like necessarily everyone to have a computer in their household.
Yeah, it was just AIM.
Right. Some people thought maybe she like met someone online at school, but at that point, schools are all they have is the Oregon Trail on their computers. And like
floppies.
Math Blaster,
Yeah.
but they don't have the internet. So yeah, a lot's really just unknown about why she left, what happened. Her mom believes she's still alive. There was like an interview that happened recently because Aisha is like my age. She was born in 1990. She would be 30 years old today. Mom thinks she's still alive. Mom is convinced that she's still alive.
Why is she convinced of that? Has she been contacted? Any weird like calls?
It's that gut instinct.
I think it's I think it's a gut instinct. I think it's also just because of the disappearance was so strange. Like, why would she leave? Where would she go? So, and what mom is gonna like,
right?
Not want to hold on to that hope that your daughter is still alive.
I get that.
So yeah, it's a sad story. It's an underreported story. And a strange story.
Super strange. Like, I wonder if she maybe had a mental illness that no one knew about, that she maybe heard voices and all of a sudden it happened, and that's why.
Aisha, if you're watching, holla at me. Let's get you back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl.
I think that, though, like, that mom having that gut instinct, that gut feeling to hold on to that type of hope and to, like, keep the hope, that's crazy.
Yeah, what's the harm in keeping a little hope?
Absolutely. I agree.
But, like, it's also, like, you guys, we've all experienced that gut instinct feeling where it's, like, you know it, and you don't know how you know it, you just know it.
Right.
And, like, trusting that and going with it, and just, like, having that, I think that is, like, the blindest faith I've ever experienced. Like, I don't know how I know this, I just know that it's this.
The only time I've experienced it a couple times, and it's always with a death. It's like, I see the phone ringing, and I know that person's calling me about a death. It sucks. But yeah, it's real. And it's sure enough.
I think it's something we train, though. You've never experienced it about, like, little small things? Like, something, like, small is, like, playing a card game, or, like, I like to gamble, and sometimes I'll play at the tables. Like,
yeah.
I know it's this one.
But I'm talking about, like, this blatant intuition. Like, I know.
Yeah.
I see this phone ringing, like, this person's going to tell me somebody's dead.
Yeah. But I think there's levels to that gut instinct, but it's, like, those moments where you just...
Right.
I think that's, like, a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
And it's happened a couple of times, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I knew you were going to tell me that.
That happens to my best friend's mom, too. She always knows.
You're talking premonitions.
She gets dreams.
Well, I don't think about it like the night before or anything like that. I don't have a dream about it.
It's just when
and there's nothing that triggers it.
It's like before they said it. It's like I already, before we even talked, in that split second, like I know you're about to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be based on like the time you're calling me, or the infrequency. We don't really talk that often, or something like that. And you have to be reaching out about something bad. I don't know what it is, but yeah, a couple times I've been able to call it out. Sucks.
I can't think of any, like, specific gut instinct moments for me in my life that made, like, an imprint, but I know I've experienced it before, and I think maybe it was about people. Like, I just know this is what's happening, or, like, I just know that this is not a good thing to do.
That's...
Like, safety-wise.
Yeah. No, I...
Like, something looks super normal, like, something we do every day, and just, I know that's...
Right.
Something's telling me, don't do it.
I'm a good read on people. I think I've done that with you. Like, we've witnessed a lot of people, like, watch out for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And it ends up being the case. But it's not because of, like, a spiritual intuition or anything like that. It's just paying attention. Yeah,
you and Cristina have that in common. I think I read people okay, but I'm just social.
Right.
I really enjoy people. So I always want to give someone the benefit of the doubt when I first meet them, especially if we enjoyed each other. I'm like, nah, they're dope. But you and Christina will be like, nah, that's not what you think it is. I'm like, nah, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're cool. And like, I do that.
I'm trying to get a read the whole time. I'm trying to put them in a category.
Yeah.
The whole time until I got you figured out. And then it's like, okay, we can build. But those initial meetings, I'm going to try and figure you out.
Yeah.
I think that's a safety thing. That's a protection thing.
I agree. I think it comes a little bit from experience and a little bit from trauma. Because me and Vicky were listening to this like new podcast, and it's all about people who fell victim to narcissists or gaslighters, people who like really destructed their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always like, why the hell couldn't they read the signs? Like, where was their gut instinct?
For real.
Why was it not kicking in?
It's very frustrating for me.
But I also think that everyone on the show, everyone's story is white. Everyone whose story has been told is white. And I don't think white people in general necessarily experience the same trauma as others.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
And that doesn't do them well when it comes to like gut instincts and intuition, because they don't have that experience or that know-how. So they're like, they fall victim to stupid shit that at least you and I would be able to tell. Hopefully.
Right. Like, especially if we're dealing with a white person.
Right.
Like, we're reading two things. We're reading that person. We're reading how you're interacting with me as a brown person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's happening fast, as opposed to Caucasian or a white person there. It's face value to them. They don't have to experience what we experience.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. There's not a safety worry they have.
Oh, he's nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, those types of things I see right off the bat, but it's like, but for you guys like read people deeper than that. Like, nah.
Right.
I've been watching them for a minute and they switched up. Like, I don't know if they would stay true in a moment.
It's the switch ups for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the, like, I want to hear you in a couple different settings, like around a couple different people. I want to see if you're consistent. I look for consistency.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you don't have to be right, but just be consistently wrong, you know?
Yeah.
I fuck with that.
Yeah, yeah. I've had gut instincts with, like, students before. Like, if a student... I used to be really good at that. Like, if a student out of nowhere starts going loco or, like, having a problem, it's like, well, try this. And then, boom.
That's experience.
And, yeah, I think that's relationship.
Yeah.
Behavior.
Yeah. I'm attributing to, though, like an out of nowhere phone call or, like, out of a nowhere behavior. I'm like, try this.
Right. But I think you and I, like, we've probably all three of us have seen so many behaviors and so, like, in the education world, so many things. Like, we can put kiddos in categories now.
Yeah.
Like, that kid's seeking some sensory.
Yeah.
That kid's hungry. That kid's nonverbal and he's X, Y, and Z. Like, we can put these kids in categories so fast.
Yeah.
Now, because of our experience.
Definitely.
That's true. Maybe that is what gives us our edge.
Yeah.
Because we've just dealt with so many different types of personality types.
Right.
And we have to learn to work with every single one of them.
No, that's facts. Like, because, like, we worked in special ed. We work in special ed. Or Cristina works in special ed. We used to.
I work in general ed.
General ed, sorry. Excuse me. But you know special ed.
Right. There's special ed in our school.
We see, like, raw behavior. Like, there is no hiding it. We get to see the real shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So when we do see, like, small traits of that in the general pop and, with peers, like, we get a glimpse. It's like, yo, that was that that I seen at work or that I've dealt with this person and of course it's probably not as extreme or probably not trying to hurt me, but and
it's a lot more hid behind the curtain because typically you're talking about like neurotypical adults just being.
Right. Like I can recognize
It's
that.
not as. It's thinly veiled.
Yeah, like I spot OCD tendencies and like
Oh yeah.
I spot like ADHD tendencies, stuff in neurotypical adults like super fast. Just, oh, why do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I get that. Understand.
I would like to train my gut more with people. And, like, if someone is, like, just blatantly and obvious, like, I'm not just, like, a dumbass missing it, but it's that other stuff that because I'm quick to want to have fun, and you guys are quick to watch. Yeah. Giving new people, where I'm like, now let's have some fun. And so, like, I don't take the time to watch those things. I kind of dive. I lean all the way in to meeting new people, because it's my favorite. And you guys would definitely take a step back. Observe. I've been burned too, man, but I don't know where this like willingness to get back out there is, because I've been burned a lot. But I think as an extrovert, like being with people energizes me. So that's where I get my energy from.
Well, that's dope, because you're always looking for that good. You're looking for the good. Like even when I'm telling you about something, you're like, I don't know, dude. Like I think it's just this. I'm usually right. But it's dope that you're always looking for that positive side.
Yeah.
Because I'm super not. It's like once I've put you in a category.
Yeah, that's it. Good luck.
That's it.
Yeah.
I fuck with you.
Yeah.
Especially if you're neurotypical.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The rules are way stricter.
Way stricter.
Way fucking stricter. I don't got time for your crazy shit.
Lately, I've started to consider things like trauma. And not be so hard on people. Mm-hmm. That's a new, honestly, I don't really credit you guys, but I do credit you both. And now I think about my wording and how I talk about things. And recently I started thinking about trauma and how what I'm seeing or what that person's displaying is not necessarily a complete representation of that person.
Totally.
I'm not saying that I have to fucking fix that person.
No.
Or be a part of it.
Never.
But I'm not nearly as fuck out of here as I used to be.
Yeah. And it's just not as personal as we think it is.
Right.
It's like one of those 4 agreements, right? Like, do not take anything personal. Like, every, working or adults that are functional and doing stuff in life, we're all walking around with our trauma. Right. And either we're working through it, we haven't worked through it, or we don't even know it exists yet. So at all times we're in this cycle of some sort of trauma, and the real goal, the real end goal is to deal with it. Right. And that way you start to understand people better, and that's really the key to not taking anything personal, to realize that everyone is dealing with something. Yep.
I agree. I used to have a really hard time with loud, in your face women. It used to just bother the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
And then
and then he met me.
No, you're not like that.
I think you are.
Yeah, but
I love it in a good way.
But no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about look at me type women. The attention seeking.
Got it. Oh yeah, that's not me.
And then I really start now I'm considering trauma. I'm considering why this person needs attention. Why? And it's deeper than vanity. It's deeper than they probably missed out on some of that good shit. And if me just not now, but if me just kind of giving into that a little bit is going to make that person feel a little bit better. There's no fucking harm in that. I don't need to be so gassed up fuck this attention seeking little whatever.
Yeah.
There's no harm in me.
There's really not. Especially if it makes them shut up.
Or even feel better,
Yeah, feel better and they shut up. Great.
Right.
I totally get what you're saying.
And I look at it there's probably if it's a daddy issue. I don't want to say that sounds terrible, but if it's a dad issue thing or
that's the thing.
I don't want to be another fucking guy that's just making them feel away.
Yeah.
It's okay, you want to be acknowledged, acknowledge you.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that's important to note. I think trauma is huge. I feel like we don't think trauma doesn't have to be this crazy thing that happened to you in your life, right? Like, it doesn't have to be you were kidnapped and you were stranded from your family for years and years, and then you come back. Like, this is not an Elizabeth Smart thing. It could be easily be like you were made fun of, you were bullied, Richard made a joke today, but I know that he does hold some trauma of it from me when I didn't really know him and I was mean to him. And he calls me a bully, and then he has trauma from it. And whereas, like, he's making a joke, but that's a thing. Like, things can cause trauma. Like, growing up, I feel like some trauma that
I wasn't making a joke.
I'm uncovering lately is my trauma from growing up in church.
Wow.
And, like, our mindset, like, that story we were listening to all week, all of these manipulators were in church.
I was like,
wow.
It was crazy.
That sounds like really similar to mine.
Totally.
Experience.
When they were talking about the screamo worship, bruh.
When they were, like, talking about child labor, I was like,
yes.
Yeah, why did I have a job in the nursery as, like, a 10-year-old?
Was this the podcast you were trying to tell me about and I didn't let you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, fuck, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, in your podcast, you didn't even talk about it, and it sounded lame anyways.
Well,
but I didn't talk about it. How does it sound lame?
Because you wouldn't.
It was so lame.
I asked you
didn't
twice.
even talk about it.
We got called in to eat. It was time to go.
Okay.
But yeah, all of these manipulators in these stories they met in church.
I was like thinking, is this guy? Because I was kind of thinking, is he that guy? I'm like, but no,
dude,
no.
for real. No. And like, just like I see these funny memes about like being in the youth group. And how, like, different trauma. I'm like, I've had all of those experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Man, like,
it's
were you guys a part of, like, youth ministry?
Dude, we were in it. My mom was saying every Sunday. My dad was, like, very well. We've been there for years, and since I was 5 years old.
You know what's crazy? Like, I grew up in West Oakland, California.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It has around the corner from the Black Panther Party headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up there. I saw the worst stuff I could possibly see in youth ministries.
Seriously.
Drugs, sex, all that stuff.
Yeah.
In youth ministries.
I
mean, it didn't happen to me, but I witnessed. It was
totally.
like kids were going out and smoking, kids were going and hooking up, kids were doing
the friggin' pastor playing around with whoever.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw all of that, and as we were listening to the story, I was like, I have a lot of trauma.
Yep.
I think that I have a lot of trauma around my youth experience and just like growing up in this church where like it was crazy, dude. I think about it now. I'm like, it was a little bit culty for a second.
It was a little bit culty.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I had a blast though, because we were unsupervised. Well, not really, because the ministers were like 15, or the youth leaders, or whatever the case was, 15, 17 years old. Like, they weren't even old enough to whatever. And like the kids that came around, they're just so excited to see kids out of their, like, that are not from their neighborhood. So I'm seeing girls from across town visiting, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a blast. But we weren't there. We were there for all the wrong reasons. And even when I grew up, like, I didn't go to like youth stuff, but I knew some youth pastors.
You never went to summer camp?
No. Church? No, I told my parents about church and my feelings about church at 13.
Oh, interesting.
When I saw the pastor and the pastor's wife have their own parking spots, and they both pulled up in Porsches.
Oh.
So I said, Mama, I'm not coming back. Like, this is not for me. Yeah. But anyway, like, I've known some youth leaders or whatever. Like, we're partying. We're having a blast.
Oh, dude, I have like a specific story in my head where the youth pastor, there was a gas station behind our church. It was the train tracks, and then on Monterey, the gas station. It doesn't look like a church building, but I'm sure if you are from San Jose, you know exactly what intersection I'm talking about.
I know.
And what church?
And what church I'm talking
the
about.
The USA gas station?
Yep. That one right there in the corner. He got caught getting his dick sucked in the bathroom at that gas station. My youth pastor. Or one of them. A high school pastor.
Sucked by who?
Some random prostitute. I don't know. I don't remember it. But he got found out. It was like I remember
I don't know which one this is.
His office led to, and I might get the story wrong, but that's essentially what happened. But I remember where his office was in the church. It was in the back, so he had to like jump the fence. I don't know what he.
See, personally, I'm not too opposed to that, but
It's not the one you're thinking it is.
It's not Spiky Hair Man.
I don't remember if he had spiky hair. Yeah, it was him.
It was him. Of course it was. That's exactly what I was thinking it was. And that's what I was thinking in my head when I listened to that podcast.
Like, good for him, but there's just so much hypocrisy.
Yes, good for him.
There's so much hypocrisy in the church.
So much hypocrisy.
It's crazy. Like, I just can't be a part of it.
So much hypocrisy. I think we talked about in the last pod that we haven't put out yet, but I think Christians are terrible people.
Sometimes, yeah.
I do not trust Christians. If you do not tell me you're a Christian. Do not tell me you love Jesus. Don't tell me that. Like, just do it. Act away.
I will. Like I said, I'm gonna read you.
Christians are my least. My parents are still very involved in their church, and I'm always critiquing it because I just don't buy it. I don't buy it anymore, and I think that to my parents that might signal that I've fallen away. But it's like, nah.
No,
nah.
I
just don't trust church people. I don't trust Christians, especially after the last couple years we've had. I don't.
What sucks is there's a lot of good people in churches, right?
Oh, of course.
So many good people, and I hate that this sounds like we're really bashing the church, but I'm not. But there's just so much hypocrisy and room for shenanigans.
Oh my God! So the shenanigans are endless, and they're like dark.
And I can't, and I can't get it. I can't subscribe to the system because there's just too many opportunities to fuck up.
Yeah. I would say I identify as a Christian. I don't have a problem with Christians. I have a problem with organized religion because I think I think religion is dangerous. I think spirituality is great. I think believing in a higher power is great. And that's why I believe, like, in my head, I'm like, you know what? I prescribe to this belief system, but I'm never going to tell someone who prescribes to a different belief system that, that's not right.
Right.
I think, honestly, what you believe is what it is. But I think in churches and within religion, like, power gets so out of control. And I was even just thinking, because we were about to say, like, because you were talking about having a blast in youth group, and I was thinking, like, man, I can only really remember, like, 2 years of my youth group experience that I actually genuinely enjoyed. And I only enjoyed it because I had this, like, role that gave me some sort of power in this youth group that I was in, gave me some sort of pseudo authority that wasn't even real, but that separated me from everyone else who attended. And that's when I enjoyed my experience. Like, that's disgusting. Like, gross.
Well, we also left that church.
Yes,
when I was like 16.
You were that old?
I was 15, 16. I was driving.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you guys did.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we
Our
did.
Parents were like, we gotta go.
At some point, they had enough of the bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's crazy.
And I think even them, like, it's been hard for them to find, like, a church home. I think now at this point they have one, but I think it was hard for them. Like, I think it was very traumatizing for them. My mom's grown up in the church. My mom is a hardcore, like, lover of God. Like, her father was a minister, and my dad too. He grew up in the church too. Like, she is deeply ingrained in that culture. So I think to lose that home and to come to that realization that shit was fucked up was really traumatizing for her and really traumatizing for them.
Yeah.
So many things happened at that time, though.
Yeah,
our lives changed.
We were dealing with so much trauma too, but in such a different trauma that we never really, even still to this day, have never really talked about. Like, we talk about that period of time and
we make a joke about it.
It was hard, and, like, the bad things that happened during that time, the people that we lost during that time, but, like, mom and dad's trauma was a lot different than our trauma in that period.
But it was traumatizing.
Very traumatizing. Yeah, I agree.
But like hearing all these stories and like all of these, now it's like we're normalizing talking about trauma. And so like all of these people with like different accounts of them growing up in church, I'm like, oh my God, yes, I identify with all that. And it's like, I don't realize that that was traumatic until I hear other people talk about it. Yeah. So that to me is like opening up a very new host of memories. Hearing about it, and it's like, fuck, what am I gonna uncover here? Because I have like weird things that I'm very not okay with, and they're mad weird. But like, and it's like, why do I feel this way about this? So I think it's buried down in these memories.
I remember one time saying to my mom, like, why do I have to go to church? Like, I already know everything that happened in the Bible. And she was so irate with me. She was like, how dare you say that?
Right.
Like, but it, like how pompous, how arrogant are you to say that? And I hear what she's saying, and I hear what she was saying in that moment. And I think in that moment, what I was really trying to say is like, I'm not learning anything from these people. Yeah. Why do I need to go back? Like,
it was the same shit. Yeah. It was this curriculum. Like, right. I've heard this story so many times. I've heard that perspective a million times.
And it's such a vanity thing. It's such a, like, they're feigning this belief system that they're preaching about. But, like, we knew the behind the scenes. We went to lunch with them. They came to our house.
Right.
We know what you were like. We know what type of decisions you made. We know how you treated people, guests in your home.
I saw how you treated that waiter.
Yeah.
And for real, I think we had an inside look our whole lives. I'm just like, this is a joke.
It is.
Like, yeah. I know that usher is sleeping with that lady, and that lady is not his wife. Like, that shit happened all the time. And you know what? The, like, big churches in San Jose, we'd all gossip about each other. So I knew what was happening at all these other big churches. It's like, man, this is so gross. But it's like, I'm a chismosa, but I own that. I'm not over here telling you gossip's bad, but that's what was happening. It was crazy. I remember when they would there was no grace for someone who fucked up a little bit. Just, you're fired. And just like, or like, you're no longer part of this church. And like, we saw that all the time. And it was like, oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Fuck Johnny and Jane. Cause you know, they're going through a hard time. Like, it was crazy.
A few years ago, I went with my boyfriend at the time. I went with him and his parents to their church. And I've known this church all my life. I think we maybe like tried the church out once or twice, but we always knew it wasn't for us. But I went, it was their Easter service, and damn, it was a production. Like, it was crazy what I was seeing.
Is this cathedral?
Yes, it was.
Word.
And
yeah, they got the animals.
I already know this. Like, I've been to their Christmas show. I should have known that it was going to be this. But just the amount of fog and the lights and the pulleys and everything, I was like literally laughing my ass off. Like, thank God I was not sitting next to the parents.
Oh.
No. Did they have any animals this time? I don't remember if they had animals this time. It was Easter, so Jesus walked his own cross. So I don't know that there's any animals, but I remember taking a Snapchat video of it and sending to my friends, like, oh my God, like, is this serious? Like, it was crazy to me. I'm like, this is so fake. This is why I do not enjoy coming to church. I'm like, I don't like this.
What's crazy is, like, I remember that day where I had that talk with my mom, and like, I was so proud of myself because I articulated myself so well, and I like made points. And,
yeah, it's a big deal.
And it was like a breakthrough. I was a new teenager. I was 13, and I broke it down, and she couldn't help but say, like, you know what? You're right. You don't have to come. And then I wanted to go further because I watched my parents like tithe.
Yeah, tithe.
Like the right amount of their income and all of that stuff, like give to the church and give and give and give. And I'm like, yo, for another big screen, huh? Oh. And then when I noticed the Porsches like a couple Sundays. But then I really noticed like the license plate. And I was like, fuck, you guys couldn't even carpool? You guys pulled up in separate Porsches. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. In front of the church. Yeah. Like, we walked a good mile to get into this mega church. You guys got front row parking, convertible Porsches, and you guys couldn't even. It's like, man, like, yo,
Yeah, because
That doesn't seem weird to you?
Yeah.
their 10% went
Right.
to that down payment.
Right. And I can remember sitting through so many sermons of being minimal, like living, like Jesus did, and not living with excess and all of this stuff. You know what I mean? And I listened while I was a kid in church, and I was like, okay, that's cool. That makes sense. But it's like, yo, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then watching this guy, like, they would do stuff like interviews behind the scenes, and they would show it on the big monitor. And you'd notice, like, dude's at his pad, and it's like, yo, that's all marble floors and marble this and that. It's like, at what point does this apply to you, bro?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, why
when?
are you above it?
Yeah. At what point?
Like, who made you above it?
It's so funny because there's such a caste system in the church.
Yeah.
And
God.
like, and we want to look at like who the Christianity is based off of. What caste was Jesus in? And it's just like, yo, like, we're all missing the point. And I think that it's important to note that, like, no way, I guess I am bashing Christians a lot because I feel like I need to, like, as someone who grew up in that, like, hold ourselves accountable. Like,
I think it's more we're bashing organized religion,
Yeah.
big churches.
but my point is like, do just because they have a label of that Christian, they have that in their identity, that does not exempt them or people that you think are good people, does not exempt you from trusting your gut about it or like to be diligent in like protecting yourself. Because I think it's super easy to like, oh, they're Christian, I met them at church, blah blah blah. But it's like, nah, like some of the worst people I know go to church
Honestly.
every Sunday.
No, that's facts. Like, that's definitely used as like a descriptor within that community. Oh, he's a Christian man.
Oh yeah.
Or he's a Christian woman, and you're like,
It's like, what does that
oh,
mean?
okay,
What
they're
does that
good.
mean?
They're good, right? You're
Mhm.
like, nah, not necessarily.
I remember, I can't tell you how many times I've asked my mom, like, does that person actually work here? Like, here at this church? Like, do they get paid a salary? Because people can act like their role is, and I get it, roles are important, and taking, leadership is important, but, like, you can tell when they take themselves so serious. You can just feel the arrogance coming from them, and I cannot stand that. I cannot stand the pseudo power that comes from religion, and it's everywhere in our society. Like, freaking, there's like other things that we're gonna bring up later, but just religion and how people use it to build false claims. Like,
They use it, they weaponize it.
they weaponize it,
Right.
and it's just disgusting to me, and it's puts a really, really bitter taste in my mouth for religion in general.
Yeah.
So.
And I just feel like if I know anything, I know religion. I know Christianity. I know what it's like to grow up in the church. I know it. I lived it. So I don't have a problem. Like, yeah, maybe I am bashing them, but I don't. I got evidence to back my claims all day, every day. I remember something really, really interesting that my dad told me once, and I never really understood why, but maybe he did. But he was like, when I had told him some like weird shit that was going on with my youth pastor and a teenager in our congregation, my dad, it was very mild, but my dad said, Vicky, you should never be alone with a married man ever.
It's facts.
And I remember being like, he's like, that's biblical. That's what I want. Like, I don't ever want you to be alone with a man.
Sure.
And I was like maybe 13, 12.
That's great advice.
I was really, really young, but I remember being like, because I was talking about my youth pastor and what had happened, but it was like so normal, and I was like, why is my dad going loco like this? And then now it's just like I'm putting these things together. Like, my dad wasn't. He grew up in church too. He knew what could happen and was protecting me without putting me on. I don't know, but I will never forget that he said that.
That's what's so terrible. You have good people in the church willing to turn a blind eye to something that's a little shady because they're there for the word. They're there for, you know what I'm saying? Like, they see, like, I'm sure what you told your dad didn't sit well with him. That's why he went loco.
It didn't.
That's why he went loco.
He was upset.
But that church was so important, or church or religion was so important to him. Like, he's just gonna drop you this gem and keep it moving.
Yeah. I will never, even to this day, like, I make sure, like, if a man is married, like, I'm not alone in a room with him. And it's weird, mad weird. But it's something that sometimes I think sometimes I get uncomfortable with,
Right.
and like I'm comfortable around men, but there's some men that I'm like really uncomfortable with being alone in a room, not like if we were in the office or something.
I think
Interesting.
I have a weird thing, and I remember what it was. I won't say their name, not that they'll overhear, but like there was this really pretty girl in our youth group, and she was the whole package, and she could sing, and she loved Jesus, and she was so pretty, blah 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 blah. Like she was very popular, and the youth pastor and her were like good friends.
Okay.
And they had went to Costco by themselves, and him and his wife had just had a baby, and they had the baby in the Costco cart, and everyone thought that this girl was his wife.
Gotcha.
And they were like talking about it. He was talking about it in like his opening monologue during service, and now I'm putting it together how gross that was, because she was a kid. She was a couple years older than me, but she was not 18. And my dad said, he was like, He's like, I don't ever want you to be with alone. I don't ever want you to be alone with a man.
Nice. So he was paying attention.
Oh yeah, now I'm putting all this.
Yeah.
I'm paying attention. My dad's always paying attention.
He's a good reader of people.
Yeah, but now I'm putting it all together. Like that's what he was actually saying.
Right.
Because now I'm like uncovering this trauma live.
There you go.
God, religion.
It's fucked up, dude.
And it's been fucked up for like
It's so fucked up.
ever.
It's so fucked up. My advice is that if you believe in something, if you believe in, like, don't tell me, show me, shut the hell up, because I am not listening to you.
Yep, practice
but
what you preach.
I'm watching you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching
all
you.
that stuff's a self journey. Like you don't need me to like assist in your journey. You don't need to go to this place to assist in your journey.
Exactly.
Yeah. There were some pretty big things that happened in the world this week. I just kind of want to get off track because I'm feeling heavy because I could go on for days.
I just want to name it's 540 people.
Oh, there's so much that I've unpacked.
You got tamales to get to?
No.
I'm sorry. Do I have to edit that?
No.
Well then
yeah,
let's
I don't
do pop culture really quick and we'll save the news for the nightcap.
All right. Well, speaking of religion, I wanted to bring up the Equality Act that just passed in the House of Representatives this past week. And the Equality Act, it's an amendment to the Civil Rights Act, I believe. And what it does is it just protects, it extends the protections of people who don't prescribe to male, female, sex orientations. It protects them in schools and in the workplace. Because it's not explicitly stated. And so, like, states can be really creative with the ways that they do not protect these individuals who identify through other genders. And so it protects them.
Yeah, it specifically says that it protects these people in everyday life.
Yes.
Like,
so
as they move, they're protected.
yes. So in work, and when it comes to like federal funds, or programs, in public accommodations. So it's a really exciting thing. It's going to go to the Senate, and hopefully it passes in the Senate.
Hold on.
However, I'm going to tie it around. Are you wondering what this has to do with religion?
Nope.
Oh, what were you going to say?
Who's protected exactly?
Do you want to read it there just to have exact wording?
Yeah. The Equality Act bans discrimination, federally funded programs and public accommodations against people based on sexual orientation and gender identity in real life.
So it extends beyond just protecting females in the workplace or, I don't know, men, and it protects everyone, rather than those who just prescribe to those two sexual orientations. Why are you? What's going through your mind?
Women are protected now, so why are we? I don't know.
It's meant to protect people who identify as pansexual, trans,
right, but we're not even done
protecting women.
Women.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, but at least I can trust that if I get on a bus, I'm not going to be charged more than a man. Or if I go to a bakery and I want to buy a cake, I'm not going to be denied service because I'm a woman. Whereas a same-sex couple, if they walked into a bakery could, before this being passed or like even presented, the bakery owner could be like, I'm Christian and I do not support gay marriages, so I refuse service to you.
So if you're like if you're a Christian bakery, a Catholic bakery,
right?
You are, based on this, forced to accommodate.
Which is why, at this point, Republicans are highly against it because they think it does infringe on religious freedom.
Right.
And I see that argument. I see it, and I respect that argument. And I think, well, let me just get into the story. So there is I think a representative from what state?
From Georgia.
No, the other one. This one over here.
Yeah, I read that. I heard about this story.
So I'm going to talk about the representative from Georgia in a moment, but there is a representative, I believe, from Illinois, who spoke in Congress in support of the Equality Act through her own experience. Her daughter is a trans woman, and she spoke on her behalf. She even hung a trans right flag outside of her office in the Capitol building. And the representative from Georgia, we're not even going to say her name because it's not important.
She put up a sign.
She puts up a sign right outside of
Her office.
I think I put the lady's name. What is the other representative's name?
Newman.
She puts this sign outside of Representative Newman's office that says,
There are two genders, male and female. That's the signs. They are across each other in the hallway. And
Yeah.
she put it outside of her door. So it faces her trans flag.
which that's not even like that sign. I think has like two big errors in it. Like, gender is not male and female. That's sex, you idiot. And that's not science, you idiot. So, anyways, that happened. And the major argument of the Republican Party against the Equality Act is the fact that it could infringe on religious freedom. Do you want to say more about that or more thoughts about that?
No.
I think you should. Like, what's going through your mind? Like, what worries you about the passing of this particular legislation?
I mean, like, I think we need to lock down minorities' rights, women's rights first. Like, I think that should be a priority based on our last year we just had. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that was a crazy year. I don't know. Like, I don't want to get killed for this, but I think, yeah, I think we should be prioritizing women's rights as opposed to this. Personally.
Okay.
That's an interesting perspective. Because I see what you're saying, but I'm also like, we're all in danger, and like, what do you put first? It's great that the LGBTQ plus community has a win in their box, and I hope to see more wins for women, more wins for minorities. Like, I hope to see these kids coming out of these cages and being reunited with their families. That's what I'm looking for. But I think there's just so many things on the docket that we want to take our W's when we can. And like, maybe a lot of people probably don't see this as a W, but I do. And I feel like people that identify with this community should be protected. Not more protected than women, not more protected by minorities, but they deserve the same protection. I think that's
I think if something like this passes, they would be more protected than women.
I disagree. I think that the protections that the Equality Act is securing for this community have already been explicitly written for women or have already been explicitly written for minorities. Are they explicitly practiced?
Right.
And are they not systemic problems within our system? Absolutely not. But I think as far as like explicit written in law, clear as day, like that is not explicitly written for this community, whereas I think it is written for women.
I understand you that. Yeah, I get that there. And yeah, I'm aware like this stuff is already in place, written for women and minorities, but it is not practiced. And
right.
It is like women are still not treated fairly. African Americans and Latino Americans are still not treated fairly in the workplace, even though it is written. I think my thing is not like, hey, I don't want to see the trans community or that community get their shot, but it's like, yo, we still got work to do over here.
Right.
And we're moving on. Like it's done. It's not. You know what I'm saying? I think that's my argument. Not that I'm against this.
No, I see what you're saying.
It's like, we're not done.
Yeah.
Right.
And if we explicitly practice these rights that we already have in place, the LGBTQ plus community would be protected. They are minorities. They are some of them identify as male or female. Some, you know what I mean? Like, if we were more there, some of them are people of color. I think that if we were more explicit in practicing those protection, those equality acts, that we probably would need a lot less protection. Because it's like, yo, it's if you are a breathing human, you are protected by this. You do not deserve to be killed in the street. You do not deserve to be
Absolutely
discriminated
not.
against
Yeah.
when you go to the restaurant. Like, if we were more avid about holding those up, all of these other things wouldn't be necessary. So it's like, great, there's another act that passed, but what are we doing after it's passed? Are we holding those officers accountable? Are we holding those business owners accountable? It's like there's more work to do than just passing the act.
Right.
To play devil's advocate, how are we protecting the rights of like the religious? How are we going to do that?
I think we protect the rights of the religious way too much, and it uses and it gets used to our detriment. Like, religious freedom is a real ass freedom because it gets in the way of a lot of shit.
Okay.
And a lot of important shit because some caveat of it is taking away from religious freedom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, the abortion thing is wild to me.
Yeah, no,
now
I'm not
it's a religious freedom.
I'm speaking to the analogy we used of the baker. The bakery.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's just stick to that. Not like I'm not pro-life or pro-choice type stuff, but yeah, how do we protect that bakery and their views? Or are we just saying like, yo, it is what it is, like make them a cake. Like, we don't care what you believe in, what you've been raised in your entire life. You've never hurt a person, you've never discriminated against a person, but you're going to make this cake and go against everything you know and believe because it's the law. How do we protect them?
Why do they need protection?
Yeah. What is their reason for not wanting to serve this person?
Yeah.
It's against their religion.
What? Being gay?
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess I don't prescribe to that Christianity where that is believed. I think
Right, but we don't have to. It's the same like we don't prescribe to not allowing women to drive and not allowing women to vote,
I guess
but
I just
we
need to say, because I don't prescribe to it, I don't give a fuck.
Right,
about that.
But we accept like the Muslim religion, we accept that. And a lot of their views and a lot of their traditions we would not accept. But we wouldn't dare really speak out against it. So like, why aren't we extending that same favor to Christianity and their views?
I don't have an answer for you.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. I think that's a stupid belief. Not that what you're saying. I think that's people who prescribe to that and people who
people who really feel that way. Like, they're gay. I don't want to bake them a cake. I think that religion needs to be left out of your business. I don't think that being gay is a bad thing, is wrong. I don't think it's worth not serving somebody. So yeah, I agree with you. It's just like, why? For what?
I agree with you too. But I'm saying, like, it's a never-ending thing because
totally.
at the you know what I'm saying? Somebody's going to lose in this. And like, how do we fix that? Because if you're going to force the bakery to do what they're doing, you're forcing them to do something against their beliefs. If you don't serve a community, you're discriminated against that community. Where's that balance?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think that argument comes from, like, it's written in the Bible, but it's depending on what version you're reading of the Bible and what year that Bible was published in and
King
who
James
wrote and put together that Bible from, like, infinite rewrites of what was originally stated in these, like, prophets.
You're talking
words.
about the homosexuality.
Yeah, like, depending on what my Bible doesn't say that, and I double checked, but this person over here who's also a Christian, because of the Bible he's written in, it's written right here, so I got to take it for fact, and I don't take the Bible for fact. And so I hear what you're saying, and it's like, I wish I had a more just, more, like, fair reason for why I want the Equality Act to pass, but I just am like, I don't, at this point, I don't care about fairness for the religious zealot who doesn't want to serve,
who uses
Bobby
that one religious caveat to make this work for him right now.
Yeah.
Even though in real life he cheats on his wife, smokes and drinks till he's blacked out, and steals from his neighbor. Like, now you care about this man being married to this man. I also know, like, when the Bible's translated from its original text, that verse isn't talking about homosexuality, it's talking about pedophilia.
Yeah.
No, a man should not lie with a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and it's being rewritten to seem as homosexuality. And that's a fact check. So
I got a lot of feelings about it, but my one feeling is I don't think it's fair that people get to weaponize religion in the last moment because they're losing, because they just want to be hateful. I don't think religion is meant to be hateful.
And didn't even the Pope come out and acknowledge gay intersex marriage?
Yes.
Like, and Christianity, I get, is different than Catholicism, but it's all under the same umbrella. And if the most highest person on this realm, on this earth, is not condemning it, like, who are you? Man who won't serve Bobby McGee?
Yeah, because you don't want to be labeled homophobic. You just want to say, well, I'm a Christian. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
You're homophobic. Shut the fuck up.
Wait, hold up. If you don't believe in what? Homosexuality, you're homophobic?
If you don't believe that a man should be married to a man.
Doesn't make you homophobic. I don't believe a man should be married to a man. I'm a straight man. It just means I'm a straight man. I don't subscribe. I don't get it.
I'm saying if you're using it to discriminate.
Yeah.
To discriminate against someone because they're gay.
Okay.
That's homophobia. And you're using your religion to justify your homophobia.
So if you mistreat...
Yes, if you discriminate against them because...
But not if you just believe.
Because of this qualifier.
You believe no man should be married to a man, or you believe you shouldn't be married to a man?
I believe I should. Like, I don't... It's not something... Like, it's something that I can accept. And, like, okay, that's their thing. But it's not my thing.
Right.
So it's not...
I think that's very different from I believe in it versus I don't believe it. Like, it ain't for me, but good for you. Just clarifying.
Yeah, like ultimately, but that is my belief. Like, but I'm not going to stop anybody from doing that. I'm not going to stop anybody from being happy or being in love with whomever they want to be in love with. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, right. It's like that thing of like, for me in my house,
I'm a straight woman.
Me, like I don't want to be married.
Right, but
to whatever.
We're being politically correct. You don't believe in that.
I believe in same-sex marriage.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I don't. I just think there's
marriage?
so much other. Yes, I don't. Like, I don't think anyone. I think love is a really, like, we want to put it into a box and it just doesn't belong there anymore.
And how can I believe in same-sex marriage? It's right there in front of me.
Yeah, like, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Right. No. I agree. I think that's what.
Yeah, there's nothing to believe in about it. But I get
that's what you were saying. I was reacting based on what you were saying about that analogy you gave, but I think
right, like it actually that's a good thing to like note that like when people say I don't believe, it's like, what do you mean? It's right there.
She's married to her and he's married to him, so
I feel it. I get it.
It's real.
Like, I completely get it, but at the same time I think you were gonna say, like, I don't know if you were, but like, I don't really care. Like, I don't have time to think about.
Oh yeah,
like,
no.
And I don't.
Not in a negative way. Like, I don't care, but it's like, yo, there's so much going on, and like,
I don't care who you
found someone,
right?
Like,
who you love.
I do believe that love is love, and like, you found someone to be with, and if that person is of the same sex as you, that's great.
Cool. Yeah.
That's great, and I hope that you have a long and happy marriage.
Do you? I'm gonna tell you. Okay. I'm going to be open and honest, but a lot of straight males, including myself, have a problem with it being kind of forced down our throat, kind of forced to see it and forced to, like, confront it. And when you don't, you're homophobic. Like, but at the end of the day, it's not that I'm homophobic. I don't give a fuck. I don't care who my best friend is. I don't care about his wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, that's not true. I don't care about who he's dating now. So I don't care about, like, I don't care about that. And it's okay for people to not care and not be labeled homophobic.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed. I don't, but I'm not prescribing to that. It is okay to treat someone terrible because they are homosexual.
I think the confusion came from this statement of I don't believe in gay marriage versus I don't want gay marriage for myself. I think that's where the disconnect comes from. And I think also, like, I understand why men are macho the way they are. I understand why men are constantly in fear of being labeled as either homophobic or a homo. It's what society's been pushed on you. Like, you've been expected to,
like, we're so terrified of it that we go opposite.
Yeah.
Just
like,
to prove that we're not. And it's,
yeah,
you're right.
I get that.
Or you think it's gross. Like, you can be a straight male and,
Right.
just the same way you
and
can
I
look
think
at it.
that defines you as exactly what you are, straight.
But we were at dinner last
that
night.
makes sense.
We saw a heterosexual couple having a really weird really weird interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Your both reaction was, ew, that's weird. Ew. You know what I'm saying? Or not, well, that's weird. You were just like,
Yeah, they look like they were having a terrible time. I was worried.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with this conversation?
Like, a straight male can have that reaction and be natural to the thought of homosexuality.
Totally.
And that should be okay. But not in 2021, you're homophobic. That's a fact.
I see that. It's like a very quick, blah, blah, blah. But I think that's the, like, idea. I think the disconnect that we had was really important to have, because I think people have it all the time.
Yeah.
And, like, it was good to talk through, because I know this about you, but but Cristina didn't, and it was, like, for me, it was, like, cool to see, like, it work itself out. But, like, that is an important disconnect that we have all the time. I don't think that if you are a straight man and that's not your thing, you don't enjoy seeing it, whatever, but, like, are you gonna run them over?
Fuck 'em.
Are you gonna go over there and tip over their table because they're, like, that's homophobia. Like, that's not for me. That's fine. That makes you straight.
And I think
cool.
this fake reality where we believe that everybody should love everything and everybody, like, I know they're white. I'm going to walk down the street. There's probably a chance I'm going to walk past a white person that doesn't fucking like me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not going to force my blackness on this person.
You're saying they won't like you because you're black.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit there like, you better like me. You better accept me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you better support me. And I think that's happening in the gay community. And to me personally, I was like, yo, you're not gonna tell me anything. You're not gonna make me fucking like you, bro. Like, do you? I am not going to impede on your happiness. I am not going to, like, you're happy. That's all I care about. But who you're with and how you get down, I don't care, bro. Like, I don't care.
I see what you're saying, and I can see how that can be why you have that perspective. But I also see the other side of it. Like, they fought so long, and at first it didn't feel like they were shoving it down your throat, or that's what it was. It was just like, yo, we're here, and we're, I think it was like a chant, like, we're here and we're queer. And it's like, they had to fight so hard to be accepted, that now it's like, yo, y'all accept me. Y'all are doing stuff based off gay culture or whatever it is, and I'm gonna own it. And I just think it's them being proud. I don't think it's
hard for me as a black person to say, to listen to, like, yo, we're here.
Yeah, and, like, there's
here.
all these nuances. Like, we can go on for days. Being black, being women, being Latina, being all of these things. Like, we could go on and on and on. I just think that's what you're seeing.
Yeah,
and, like,
and I get the toxicity and, like using slurs and all that. Like my parents didn't go for that shit. Like that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
I kind of grew up and was like definitely not my thing. Like, the use of, like, oh, you're gay or you're a fag, that was big growing up. And then having a family member, that, like, pull me aside, like, yo, like, that kind of hurts my feelings, bro. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that shit ain't cool. I get it. I get not using those slurs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get what what you're about and anything like that. But it doesn't stop our relationship. It doesn't stop, like, but I don't need to know, like, this is a big cousin. Like, I don't need to know who you're sleeping with. Just like, you don't need to know who I'm sleeping. We don't need to discuss your sexuality. I think I have a problem because I'm raising a little one, right? Mm-hmm. I'm seeing this stuff in Disney movies. That's really hard as a parent. You guys aren't parents. Having to explain that to a 6-year-old and a 5-year-old. Like, it's in a lot of movies, like Disney Plus, and having to explain that to a kid and like wanting to do the right thing based on what today's standards are, and then kind of like, yo, this kid, like, I'm not gonna raise this kid with this toxic mindset. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that, but at the same time, like, that's confusing. No 6-year-old should even be dealing with or talking about sexuality.
But they see man and women together all the time. Mom, dad, aunt,
But
uncle,
that's not
grandma, grandpa.
That's not sexuality.
That's a couple together whose sexual orientation
How
is
is it
straight.
not sexuality?
But why do I need to explain to them why they're two guys or two cartoon characters?
Why shouldn't you?
What are they doing?
But that's not what they grow up in. That's not what they
Right.
know.
It's not normal in society. I hear you. I think there's a difference between looking at let's say a gay couple, and I don't care that you're gay, I'm like not paying attention to you, and ew, I think that's gross. I think to say ew, I think that's gross, I think that is homophobia. And I think that's homophobia that's intrinsic in our society. Like, I see this all the time in school. I work in a middle school. Like, anything you do, if your voice cracks, you're a homo.
Right.
And you are outcasted. If
Yeah.
you want to go to the drawing club after school instead of play soccer, you're a little sissy. Like, I think that is homophobia. That is
toxic.
intrinsic
Right.
in our society. And I think our society has been man and women, so we don't even think about it anymore. And homophobia, I think, is so intrinsic in our society that we don't even realize it's homophobia anymore. So I'm just not prescribed anymore to the, like, man and woman, and that's what's normal anymore. Like, we have to move, in my opinion, we have to move past that.
But I feel you. I hear you, and I like that's really progressive. But in like a real, like my real household, it is normal for that kid to see a man and a woman.
Right, but that is sexuality.
That is okay.
That's
fine.
normal.
But that's his norm.
Mm-hmm.
So, and his reaction when he sees that is, what is that? That is not fed by me. That is not fed by mom. That is his natural reaction. What do I say to that?
Okay. And families in the 1960s were also having this conversation about a black man and a white woman being together or vice versa. People looking at them in a restaurant and saying, ew, that's gross. Versus people who are like, oh, whatever, that's cool. So I think about that, and I think about, not that that's not a struggle anymore, but I think I
agree with you.
I think of it in that way.
I don't disagree with you.
And a kid who sees a man and a woman together, but they're used to a mom and a mom or a dad and a dad, like,
that's their norm.
Normal
Right.
is a stupid word that we use because it doesn't mean anything. I think normal is based off your own experience. So what is normal for that child is not normal for this child. I think it's important to note that, like, what's really important, and like those are the lessons that we teach in those moments. Like, family, that's their family, and families look really different these days because they do, because the way that we progress as a society is that's what that looks like now.
Okay, so let me ask, you guys have children, you have a young boy, he decides he wants to be a young girl. How do you raise that kid? What do you do in this day?
I would think, what would I want my mom to do
Yeah.
if I came to her with that same dilemma?
What is that?
I would want her to accept me, and I would want her to believe me.
Okay.
And that's how I would treat the situation.
Okay.
And I think that
Your 3-year-old asks you, am I a boy or a girl, Mom? What do you say? What do you feel like? What is it?
well,
I don't think a 3-year-old is going to necessarily comprehend the. Like,
Okay, so what are they going to say? That's very common with 3-year-olds, boy or a girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like mom's a boy.
instinctually I would say, well, what do you have?
I would say if I recognize her as a girl, I would say, oh, you're a girl. I would just say it at that point, because I don't think a 3-year-old is asking it like, Mom, am I supposed to take on male gender roles or female? I think this child is really just trying to
Curious.
identify what is the difference. I think at that point they're just labeling and organizing things that they see, and that's how I would take it. I wouldn't take it as like, I'm telling you you're a girl, and now you're going to do everything that a girl is expected and prescribed to do in this society. So I guess if you were like, if the child was 10 and the child asked, Mom, am I a boy or a girl? That would be a different story.
Yeah, I
What
don't
would it
think
be?
3-year-olds are equipped to think in those terms.
Right.
And I
agree.
don't want my 3-year-old if my 10-year-old was to bring it up again, then let's explore. Because I think at
I would
that
ask
point,
questions.
at that point, you have gone through life. You have moments that I'm not aware of.
I think if
Like,
a 10-year-old
what
is
are you
asking
feeling?
that question, it's safe to assume that
Something's-
10-year-old is feeling a certain way.
Absolutely, but a 3-year-old, they still it's like I feel like people stop parenting kids. Like my 3-year-old can say they want to be a pony. That doesn't mean they actually want to be a pony. Like they're 3 years old.
Well, I'm asking so I can kind of understand where we are when it comes to gender, because it seems as if society's trying to do away with it completely, and no, I think that's the case. Like it's.
I don't know if they're doing.
I think they're trying to
expand
expanding gender.
but it feels,
I think sex is male, female. Yes, that's a
Right.
scientific whatever. I think gender is, yes, being expanded.
and I think even for me, who I don't have a lot of knowledge in it, it's something that I'm not used to yet. I'm not well versed in yet. So there's still a lot of things I need to learn about how we are supposed to identify gender or express gender. I don't know a lot about it, but I do see the man, things are getting so complicated. But I think for some people it's necessary, and while I don't want to complicate things, I realize that there is a need, and so as I want to be a good part of my community, I'm going to do the work to figure out what that is and really understand it and respect it when I come into contact with it. Because
and I think
at the bare minimum, people deserve respect.
I think that's it. And I think at the end of all this, even with me trying to understand all this stuff, don't treat anybody like shit.
Right.
Regardless of how they identify, whether you fuck with it or not.
Yeah.
And be open to teaching a lesson and learning the lesson, like we've talked about before.
Right. Like me, there's some things I don't subscribe to, but I'm not gonna treat that person any differently than I just any other human. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it comes down to.
So,
because thoughts, everyone has dirty, disgusting, nasty thoughts that they would never want to be brought to the surface. Everybody has that about whatever part of, I don't know, your psyche that there is. I think it's your actions and how do you act it out.
Yeah.
Right.
And what truth do you live out?
I'm afraid of the censorship of those thoughts. I'm comfortable, right now, sharing, there's some things I don't fuck with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not popular for people to do that. And they're who knows, our pod blows up, people see this and they say, oh, he's a X, Y, and Z. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Because I don't think it's healthy to kind of cancel that. Those opinions and differing. But I think that's the push. We should all have the answers that Cristina and yourself gave. And when you don't, it's unpopular.
Yeah, and I think that we do a really important job at expressing really different opinions and practicing what we're preaching. We've talked about a million times. Let's not cancel the vote. Let's hear them out. Let's not be triggered by an opposite opinion. So I think it's important that as much as we talk about it, we put it into practice and we're doing our part to stop that type of thing. Because I do think at the end of the day, other views are necessary. If we all agreed on the same thing, we would never come up with the brilliant things we've come up with. We would never grow. And while there are some views that are just nah, fuck that, it's important to talk it out and really figure out where there are intersections.
Right.
So I'm glad that we had this convo, because honestly, this is it's tough to talk about.
Yeah.
It's really tough, but I think
it's tough to say those unpopular opinions.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we say them.
Yeah.
Because they're real.
But it's important to note that we're fine, your preferences, whatever. But at the end of the day, they're a human being. Get that right every time.
So should I stop saying pause and no homo?
Yeah, you should stop saying no homo.
What is pause?
Why
mean?
would pause be bad?
Pause is another way of saying no homo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Say pause. If I say something out of pocket, that could be perceived as homosexual.
Yeah, definitely. Then
you throw a pause at the end.
Because it's a negative
Cristina,
connotation. It's a toxic connotation.
Where do you learn this jargon?
I never knew that pause was that way.
Oh my god, you guys are embarrassing me right now.
I think. Did y'all think pause meant that? Because I never heard of that.
Every one of them knew that. If a guy says something funny and they're like, yo, pause, they know what that is. At least my portion of the audience.
Interesting.
Knows
okay.
what that
well.
means. And Cristina even knows, it's a dub. What is that? I told you
It's
it
a
was
bag of weed.
No.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's short for W.
Yeah, what is a dub?
Well, deuce, 2
Uh-huh.
fingers. Usually say peace when you're leaving.
Uh-huh.
Like it's a dub. It's done.
Oh,
Yeah. Like it was a dub.
That's
like it was
new.
over. That's old as fuck. What are you talking
I
about?
didn't know that. I'm not gonna let you sit here and accuse us of not being up on slang, because we are.
You're not.
Oh my god, I
Neither of you.
100% am.
They're just 2 things right now. They're super common in my vocabulary that I use all the time with you.
I've never heard you say pause.
I say it like, oh, pause.
I've never heard you say that.
Like my man was really big. Pause. Like that.
I would just think that you were pausing your conversation. I'd be very confused. And I would be waiting for the rest of the story.
Okay.
Pish posh. One time, that was like the phrase me and my sisters used to say. I don't know why.
What would you say?
Pish posh. And one time, one of my sisters randomly said it as we were watching TV, and it was right when we just got TiVo. And someone was like, pish posh. And someone pressed pause for the longest time.
Oh, press pause.
No, they said pish posh,
Oh
like
my
Mary
god,
Poppins.
I remember this.
But we said pish posh, and then we paused the TV for a long time, like a couple of minutes, and then we're like, can we press play? Pish posh. So that's what makes me think of when you say pause.
Pish pause.
All right. Well, in my head,
We
it's a lot
still
more
say
innocent.
it. We
Pish posh.
We still say it now, like when we're
Hey, can you pish posh? And we know what it means.
Man,
okay.
I think I need to bring you guys up to
I
speed.
wasn't gonna say that.
But what speed? What
What
are
you
you
mean?
driving?
Like you're a pretty big. You work with youth. Like
Uh-huh.
if you. Because
They're stuck on bruh still. So
Bruhs.
I understand what that means.
Okay.
The other day I was like, no cap, and you were like, you're using slang now. It's like, what do you mean? Everyone uses no cap.
What does that mean, Cristina?
No lie.
It's no joke.
Right. That's what I said. All right, guys. It's like 6:14.
Oh, she got a date.
No, I do not have a date.
Okay.
All right, let's close this thing out. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We will see you in a couple days, hopefully. You can follow the pod on IG, Twitter, and YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're streaming on all major platforms. But if you want the full experience of kicking it with my sister and I, you can catch us on YouTube. You know, the other day someone asked me if you were my real sister. I was like, yeah, we're literally twins.
No, just for the pod.
What would you say? Pause.
Pish posh.
Fish push. I was like, yeah, she's my real. He's like, well, you know how girls they'll call each other sisters. I was like, yeah, that's my sister. Like, same last name, same
You tell them
parents.
like and subscribe.
Yeah, I did.
Good.
I think he did. All right, y'all. Love y'all. We'll see you next week. Until then, all my love.
Peace. Pause.
Peace.